The first day of 2018, and we get the best day of the college football season. Just hours from now, the college football playoff begins. Georgia and Oklahoma at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Defending champion Clemson taking on Alabama at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And, of course, the winners will play for the national championship right here in Atlanta, where today we have one of the most intriguing matchups of the bowl season. Welcome to the 2018 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And our matchup, the Auburn Tigers, led by Kerryon Johnson, the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. The Tigers, who, of course, handed Alabama and Georgia their only losses of the season before falling in the SEC title game on this very field. And UCF, their quest for perfection is one step from completion. Today, in Scott Frost's final game as the head coach of the Knights, they face their biggest challenge. And Happy New Year, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside Brock Hewitt. Allison Williams is with us as well. A great day of college football begins here in Atlanta. And, Brock, we have such a fascinating game. It's really my favorite kind of game because you got the true upstart. I mean, UCF, they are the upstart among the New Year's Six bowl game teams. And they have a chance not only to finish off what would be a perfect season for them, but to really test themselves against a powerhouse program in Auburn.
And it started yesterday with you. You love the storylines of this because we all know it. We've all tried to beat the bully on the block, the big guy, or maybe fend off the guy that's not as big or talented. And we know both of these stories. And on top of it, Dave, we have some tremendous football. Just the conflict and contrast in styles, the tug of war that Auburn wants to play, the speed. They want to play tag to UCF. They want to get out in the open field. That sets up for a wonderful matchup as well.
Yeah, so we got that aspect of it. Can UCF test themselves and prove themselves against an SEC powerhouse team? The other big storyline is their head coach, Scott Frost, who is UCF's head coach. He also, of course, is now Nebraska's head coach. He's been doing both jobs the last month, and we're all intrigued to see how it plays out.
And you know what else he's been? Loyal, which is not a word we throw around an awful lot in college football. Loyal to these kids, loyal to both programs, loyal in bringing his entire staff from Orlando to Lincoln, Nebraska. That doesn't happen. He wants to pay it off for his kids here today.
Yeah, there have been very few examples of a coach doing what Scott Frost is trying to do this month and culminating here today in Atlanta. A huge challenge for the Knights against the Auburn Tigers. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, kicking off a tremendous day of college football. Kickoff from Atlanta coming up now. A look inside Nissan's Heisman House. Tonight, the national championship will be decided. And we should have a great atmosphere here. UCF fans in huge numbers have come to Atlanta, and here come the Knights. The only undefeated team left in college football on the other side from the SEC, the Tigers of Auburn. Beat number 1 Alabama, beat number 1 Georgia in the regular season. Lost on this field in the SEC championship game. Otherwise, they'd be getting ready for a semifinal matchup tonight. Gus Malzahn's team looking for a little redemption here back in Atlanta. This has been the Nissan pregame rush, and the players are getting ready to go here. Let's go down on the field with Scott Frost. Here's Allison Williams.
Coach Frost, before you ran out onto this field for the final time with this group, what was your message to them?
Just to go out and fight. They've been fighting together all year. They've overcome a lot together. They've done it loving one another, and we get more chance to do that, and I think the guys are hungry to play.
Once we kick off, what will you be watching to see how they absorb and react to that initial wave of physicality from Auburn?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to handle the first wave. I told them that. You know, we need to be able to hold up front on both sides of football. If we can, this can be a really good game.
Scott, thank you.
All right, thanks, Allison. Let's go down to the center of the field. Brandon Cruz, our referee from the Big 12 for our coin toss.
Gentlemen, congratulations on an excellent season. This is Percy Vaughn, chairman of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. He will be flipping today's coin. Heads is the 50th Peach Bowl logo. Tails is the stadium logo. UCF will call the toss. What's your call?
Tails.
He called tails. Mr. Vaughn, he called tails. Please flip the coin. It's tails. UCF wins the toss. You'll receive. Which way do you want to kick? Okay, place your backs to your goal lines.
Well, interesting. UCF wins the toss, and they want the ball. They want their offense on the field to start this game. We talked about Scott's challenging month, juggling both jobs. It's not been easy for the players at UCF either. For more on that, let's go back down to Allison.
Yeah, Dave, they've really experienced an entire range of emotions over the last month, from the exuberance of winning the American Conference Championship to the disappointment of learning that their head coach would be leaving, and now the excitement of getting to play in this bowl game with Scott Frost on the sidelines leading them. And it's been most difficult for the young players. I talked to safety Trey Neal. He said, I've been through a coaching change before. I understand the business, but I had to explain to the young guys that this is what's best for coach. He's getting to return home to his alma mater in Nebraska. The quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, he's one of those guys that was recruited by Frost. He said it's tough because our relationship goes beyond football, but I understand his decision. And they all saw the sacrifice it took for Scott Frost to be able to coach them today. For that, they are all thankful and said, we love him no matter what.
Can't wait to see how it plays out on this field where the national championship will be decided 1 week from tonight. Daniel Carlson is going to kick off, and it'll be a premium for Auburn to try to keep it away from that guy. Mike Hughes, the junior defensive back, has turned into one of the best return men in all of college football.
And they argue they're here because of his return against South Florida. When that game got tied, he took it to the house to give them a touchdown lead. They hold on, and in a few of these games with Group of Five, I have never felt a fan base and a team as wired as UCF is right now.
They are so ready to go. Carlson with the big leg into the end zone. That's a good start for Auburn. Don't let Hughes get a kickoff return. Mackenzie Milton, who had a tremendous year for UCF. Milton, who was under-recruited coming out of the state of Hawaii, youngest of 4 boys, lots of sports in that family growing up. He loved Marcus Mariota. In high school, he was 5'11", 160 pounds. He's not a lot bigger now. Scott Frost first found him at a quarterback camp event when he was still with Oregon. Mackenzie Milton followed Frost to Orlando, a long way from home, about 4,600 miles Orlando is from his hometown in Oahu, and he had a great year this year.
And they're here because of him.
Only Baker Mayfield in college football better quarterback rating than Mackenzie Milton, who throws on first down. Was not quite accurate with his first pass of the day. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10. 3,795 pass yards, 35 touchdowns, 42 total touchdowns, all UCF single season records.
Number 8 in the Heisman rankings at the very end. Not a surprise to see a screen to a tight end on the first play. Get ready to see a lot of this football out on the perimeter for the Knights.
2nd and 10 against this very tough physical Auburn defense. Over the top and incomplete. Akins had a chance to catch it, couldn't bring it in. It's 3rd down.
That's 2 attempts to the tight end, but as far as the impact players over the course of the game, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Adrian Killens, he's a little speedster out of the backfield. Oh, remember, he's the one that said the SEC hasn't seen speed like we have. And Otis Anderson, another true freshman. He's in the slot. He's dangerous. Jeff Holland led this team in sacks, first team all conference. They're on the defensive line. And Trey Matthews, he is the governor in the back. He runs the show.
Auburn showing some pressure, but they back off on 3rd and 10. And good protection for Milton, who now is scrambling around. He does this very well. Kind of sidearm delivery, dangerous throw, incomplete. It's a 3 and out.
Sidearm delivery is exactly right. He's an ultimate frisbee thrower, man. He is just a baller and a gamer. He loves Marcus Mariota. He's watched every one of his games growing up in Hawaii, and that is as good a protection as he could ever have in this game, but nobody open down the field. Evan Steele playing some zone coverage there, nowhere for the slinger to put that one on somebody.
Mac Loudermilk is the punter. Stephen Roberts back to receive. UCF commits a penalty, getting lined up for the punt.
Offense, number 23, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
A little nervous energy. Milton completes about 70% of his passes. That first one he hits 99 out of 100 times. That little screen pass. Never been on this stage, never been in this moment. The team they're facing sure has.
And you heard Scott Frost talking to Allison just a few minutes ago before kickoff about surviving the early parts of this game, just being in the game, and then he thinks his guys have a great chance. The pressure on the punt, but Loudermilk got it off. No fair catch, returnable. There is a penalty flag on the field. That speed and a huge block on the corner. The return out to the 43. We'll see about the penalty. I think it's against Auburn and against Loudermilk. This may be a huge swing. The punter sure thinks so. He's a big boy, Mac Loudermilk.
Running into the kicker. Receiving team. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's 4th down.
So not the personal foul penalty, which would have been much different, just a running into the kicker.
And the other bummer of not getting any yardage on that first possession. That's a good sell job.
Yeah, that was definitely a running into the kicker, not a personal foul penalty. Despite the celebrations of Mac Loudermilk. Well, after the return, UCF, they're going to kick it again. Auburn was set up with good field position right around the 43-yard line of the Tigers. We'll remember that and see how much impact that penalty has. Kind of a line drive style punt that's going to hit the turf and work out very well for the Knights. Down back at the 22. That's a 20-21 yard difference with that running into the kicker penalty. And now the Auburn offense would come out on the field, and their quarterback, first year with the Tigers, Jarrett Stidham, who in his own way has a fascinating story. Jarrett Stidham was a great athlete growing up, number 2 ranked dual threat quarterback coming out of high school, went to Baylor initially and had some great moments as a young quarterback for Art Briles. Left the program, attended junior college, didn't play in junior college, worked out literally as a scout team quarterback with a high school to save an extra year of eligibility, and he's had a very fine first year with Auburn. And play fake on the first play of the game. Stidham was trying to go downfield. Instead, he goes down to the turf. A sack for UCF.
How about this statement in the first 2-3 minutes of it? Good protection for UCF and a wonderful line stunt here in action. Better coverage down the field. Very few spots there for Stidham to go sticky in the coverage. This UCF team said enough of this conversation about the line of scrimmage. We can play tug of war too.
Kerryon Johnson is in the backfield. He is healthy, and that's a difference maker for Auburn. Instead, they swing it out to the left side with a blocker in front, but well tackled in the open field for a short gain. Eli Stove with the catch. But Kyle Gibson, heck of a tackle.
This place is buzzing.
Big time. And if the offense had some nerves so far, it's 2 plays, but the defense looks ready to go.
Easier to just fly and react than at times offensively to overthink.
3rd and very long. UCF making some last-minute changes to their alignment. Now a screen thrown, very dangerous, almost intercepted with the deflection. Well, that did not go particularly smoothly for Auburn. The Tigers are going to have to punt it away.
And Shaquem was all over it. Shaquem Griffin, who you're going to see throughout the course of this game. Just marvel at what he does. Watching the last couple days of practice, and you see 18 fly into your screen right there. Oh, excuse me, that was the corner. That was Clark. You will see 18 throughout the course of this game fly everywhere. The Conference Player of the Year a season ago. Story well documented of everything he's overcome in his life. And quite a start here for UCF defensively.
Maybe, Brock, a little harder to keep it away from Mike Hughes in the punt game. We'll see. This one a short punt, very short, right around midfield. How about the field position switch with the special teams and the defenses in the opening moments of this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl? The Knights will have the ball when we come back to Atlanta right after this.
UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton is a little baller. He's a gamer. He does whatever it takes. And at 5'10", he changes that release point quite a bit. Right, it will stand out to you today. The more tape I watched, the more I saw just a frisbee thrower doing whatever you've got to do to make it work, or that middle infielder that's just going to get it out of his hand as quickly as he can. How about this first third down? Right, so good. You'll hear quarterback gurus say changing the platform or the throwing, motion and mechanics to do what you have to do, and Mackenzie does. And the size isn't ideal, but the playmaking is off the charts.
Second possession now for Mackenzie Milton, the sophomore, true sophomore. Pressed into action last year, huge improvement this year. And a little jet sweep type action with the speed of Adrian Killens for a positive gain into Auburn territory. Killens, who very controversially had the comment leading into this game, I'm paraphrasing, but SEC football, they don't have a lot of speed, is kind of what he said, which I'm not sure I agree with that. Auburn's players definitely took note of that from Killens. He's got world-class speed. A track star in high school, and an all-conference running back for the Knights. He'll get a second touch in a row. Not much room there. Got a yard, maybe two. Driven to the turf.
Yeah, that was a little kiss and a reminder there between Trey Williams and Trey Matthews, that at 158 pounds, you may have world-class speed. And you may have an advantage when you get outside the tackle box, but you want to run between the tackles. We'll remind you of your commentary.
It's 3rd and 4. It's also the part of the field where you could see, if they don't get it, going for it on 4th down. Second, 3rd down already for UCF. They had their first opening drive 3 and out of the season to start this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Milton, a designed quarterback run, kind of picking his way through. He found a hole and tripped up. He went down, but I think he got there.
And he is their second leading rusher. Many times that's in the secondary plays, as you saw on that 3rd down, his ability to extend and create for Scott Frost. So there is some similarity with Marcus Mariota. All those years in the box that he called plays at Oregon, watching Marcus make something out of nothing. That time, a perfectly designed 3rd down QB run call.
Now the other fast, small, quick running back for UCF, Otis Anderson, joins Milton in the backfield. Play fake to him, a little pump fake, and they dump it out toward Anderson. I think lucky that that one fell incomplete.
Keep track of it. I think every series you're going to see a screen. So on the very first play of the game to the tight end, that one a little more traditional, and that doesn't surprise Kevin Steele. He knows exactly what's in the game plan for Scott Frost. When you've got some size disadvantages at the point of attack, create and you move. See with Kevin, he's terribly shocked by that screen call.
He used to be more emotional. He told us how he has worked over the years. He's a great coach and had a great year. He has worked over the years to be more even-keeled during games, and he is definitely that now. 2nd and 10. Milton fumbled the ball, and it's out on the turf. Auburn picks it up. Ultimately, Deshaun Davis, the guy who came away with it. Milton just dropped the snap.
Couple missed screens. Those are just gimmies in the system. And this time, maybe the eyes looking at the different defensive packages that Auburn's going to throw. And I don't think Scott Frost had any concern about his quarterback coming in. Maybe a little bit off the hip, but that's when you could just see his eyes. Just got to secure it first and foremost. And you're talking about a +15 turnover ratio on the season. One of the very best in all of college football. Part of the reason UCF is here, Auburn just +1 on their side, and now totally flipping that field position.
And I tell you what, you watch that replay, he was standing, now he was down initially, but the ball was sitting there on the field. He stood up, scooped it up, and started running. Auburn's going to snap the ball. It's not going to matter. That one, I'm not sure it should have been blown dead. Kerryon Johnson will get his first carry. I don't know about that one. That feels like a break for UCF.
And they're fighting for it here, so there's no contact, and Deshaun Davis comes in.
All right, so he's on the turf for sure, but watch this. Well, we'll have to see it Again, one more time. The screen to Davis, defended beautifully. And there's the guy you're talking about, Shaquem Griffin. Devell Clark also in there as well. Clark from his defensive back spot.
Flying around, aren't they?
Griffin, who I think is the most inspirational story in all of college football, plays with one hand.
There's no question.
And has played at such a high level. UCF coaches can't say enough great things about him and how he has made himself into a superstar. 3rd and 10 for Auburn. Griffin backed off with the pressure. Now Stidham dancing around, trying to look downfield, and hits his man. What a throw and catch for an Auburn first down. That's Nate Craig Myers. A little improv from Jarrett Stidham.
Big time. Big time. And it's part of the reason they beat Alabama was his ability to extend plays. He doesn't look to run, but Stidham showing you his creativity as well.
A quick snap. They like to go tempo after a big play. Johnson for a gain of maybe 3. Kerryon Johnson, the SEC Offensive Player of the Year against Alabama, against Georgia at home. Tremendous games. He was banged up in the SEC championship game. Did not play well, didn't play much. And Auburn's offense against Georgia in that rematch was totally different because of it. Second and 7. Stidham with all kinds of time. Now on the move again, throws right along the sideline. Another completion. One broken tackle to Darius Slayton. That's an Auburn first down.
This will be one of the challenges for UCF today, to just simply rush 4 and really get to Jarrett Stidham. It's now a couple opportunities where he gets outside the normal framework and timing of the play. And as I said, late in the season, man, did he ever grow in that facet of his game.
First down, Johnson tried that little shuffle cut. He likes doing that. Took a pretty big hit. Stumbled forward, though, to get some positive yardage.
Yeah, he loves Le'Veon Bell. It's the guy that he watches an awful lot. And like Stidham, you felt his confidence grow throughout and over the course of the season. Same thing for the SEC Player of the Year in Kerryon. His timing, his patience, his ability to slow to, and explode through that hole also ramped up over the course of the year.
Think about all the great players in the SEC on offense. Johnson now a Wildcat quarterback on that jet sweep, hands it off. Pretty well defended by the Knights. It'll be 3rd down. Eli Stove got the ball.
This is an awfully big 3rd down here in the red zone. Scott Frost says just keep it within arm's length, and a nice tackle there by Jasinski, the leading tackler for UCF. Keep it in arm's length. Put the pressure on Auburn. Weather this storm here, the sudden change with the fumble, and you hold Auburn to a field goal. That will be a win for the head coach.
Auburn did bring in an extra offensive lineman for this 3rd and 4. It looks like Bailey Sharp, number 66. Big tight end, essentially. Play fake. Stidham throwing back across the field, incomplete. There was good coverage there. In fact, they were trying to throw it to Bailey Sharp. Yeah, UCF having none of that.
Yeah, we've called Clark's name a number of times. The corner there, number 14, and you're not going to fool Griffin. He has seen way too much football. That play works, and we've seen it work for Auburn through the years. Trying to get an undisciplined team on the other side of the ball. Not this 12-0 UCF team.
Well, the special teams, these 3 playing their final game, each of them, and together they have handled every kick for years for Auburn. Snapper, holder, and one of the best place kickers in the country, Daniel Carlson. Chip shot for him, 25 yards. Good snap, good hold, good kick. What's new? So Auburn gets the turnover, and they capitalize for 3. The Tigers early on in this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl with a 3-0 lead.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season. Order now. IBM. You powered by data, knowledge, insight. That's you to the power of IBM. The Quick Silver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, everywhere. And Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
Well, they call it the official kickoff for game day. That's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl parade at 8 a.m. in downtown Atlanta. Wind chill for the parade this morning was 1. It was cold here in the South as Auburn and UCF. Auburn with a 3-0 lead over the Knights. And we've talked about this. Look, the play was whistled down, so replay couldn't get involved. I'm not saying replay could have done anything about it, but I do believe that UCF got a break, because watch this play out to Sean Davis, the linebacker. He gets up. He's up. He's not touching the ball. Ball's sitting on the turf. He scoops it up and goes.
And I don't think there's any contact there with Milton. He's trying to reach his hand out and just make any contact there while he's down, and there wasn't. But once it is blown dead, saw the umpire come in there and wave it dead. Replay could not get involved.
So Auburn got the turnover. They moved the ball into the red zone. They kick a field goal. Okay, but that could have, maybe should have been a touchdown for the Tigers. About midway through the first quarter, UCF's offense has not gotten going yet, and Mackenzie Milton 0 for 4 and has fumbled the ball away. Mike Hughes, this one is returnable for Hughes. Kind of picking his way through the traffic, could not even get back to the 20, or got right there. Well, this is just the beginning today. If you're a college football fan, today is the day. 5 Eastern from Pasadena, the greatest setting in the sport, the Rose Bowl, Oklahoma, Georgia. That's playoff semifinal number 1. And then, of course, part 3, Clemson, Alabama from the All-State Sugar Bowl, 8:45 Eastern tonight. Both games will stream live on the app.
Wonderful clash in styles that will follow us in a very similar way that Oklahoma wants to play fast and out on the perimeter. Now they're dominant up front too. It's why they're there. And a Georgia that wants to play keep away on their side.
Yeah, you watch this game, you kind of think of Mackenzie Milton as a Baker Mayfield type of quarterback. Milton needs a completion, and he gets one. That's his first of the game to Dredrick Snelson, the sophomore from Miami.
See how dominant, in fact, Oklahoma, as you see, number 1 in America at scoring points, 13 a game for UCF. Auburn very good on the other side, just a field goal per quarter on average this season.
So this has been a fast starting UCF offense typically. Fast starting, fast finishing, number 1 scoring offense in college football, the only undefeated team in the country. Trying to stay that way, down 3-0. On second down, Milton, that one, he had a wide open target, Otis Anderson, and he just missed him.
Yeah, this is not what you saw the last couple weeks. You can see just there a little body language from Mackenzie. Like, gosh, these are gimmies. I don't miss these. Against Memphis, he did not miss a throw in the entire first half, and they were a lot more difficult than these flat routes and these screen passes. Got to take a breath and got to settle down, and Scott Frost will continue to give him high percentage throws.
Third down, he slings that one into traffic, and it's incomplete. Trying to hit Snelson again. The Auburn defense was right there.
I have so much respect for Kevin Steele. He's done this so long. That's enough of a pocket, and once again, you see that little slingshot throw, but there was no intimidation and no fear from the defensive coordinator. He knows, Kevin Steele does, what he's got from a speed perspective there, and a wonderful play by Jeremiah Denson in the flat. He knows when a quarterback's struggling, he's anticipating that throw from Frost. He knows he wants to get his quarterback going. The nickelback Denson all over it.
Think about the guys Kevin Steele has coached with, from Johnny Majors, Bobby Bowden, Nick Saban, Tom Osborne, Les Miles. It's like a walking history of college football. The punt was muffed, and going backwards, Stephen Roberts, way backwards inside the 20. Well, special teams haven't been real special for Auburn so far. We'll be back here to Atlanta after this. The Tigers with an early 3-0 lead. Our aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear. When Mother Nature blitzes, you'll need the very best traction on and off the field. You'll need weather ready. Goodyear, more driven. This brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium with the remnants of the old Georgia Dome right next door. The Auburn Tigers, who have played so often over the years in this great city, back in Atlanta where they lost the SEC championship game. Coach Stidham in the offense. Auburn leads 3-0. Dave Fleming, Brock Hewitt, Allison Williams. They give it on the right side. And a nice positive game to Cam Martin. Let's go down to the field and Allison Williams.
Hey there, Dave. I've been keeping an eye on this UCF defense because a big question for them was how they would absorb those initial collisions with Auburn. And so far, they have remained hyped with that first 3 and out, forcing the field goal. Their confidence is rising. They have belief that they could play with Auburn coming into this game, and it's growing as they go.
Stidham again on the move. He's been going left to right all throughout this first quarter. Hits his target Slayton on the run. Short of the first down mark.
That's because that initial progression, that first read, Gus Malzahn and his system there with Chip Lindsey tries to build up those first reads. They've been taken away. The benefit of having a month and watch the quick snap here right out of the quick huddle.
A couple plays without the SEC Offensive Player of the Year, Kerryon Johnson. Now on the field from under center. They'll give it to Johnson, and Johnson will bounce outside and get the first down. He'll go down across the 30 out close to the 33-yard line. First down Auburn.
And that's all Kerryon. Pretty representative there of why he was a conference player of the year. Stopped right there at the point of attack on the power play. He's got the vision and the patience to get it done.
And they'll hand it off to Johnson, this time into the open field, and gets tripped up. Hits the turf. The ball comes out. He was down. Mike Hughes saved what could have been an even bigger gain, and who knows, maybe a touchdown. Go with the quick tempo again and give it right back to their star running back. Close to midfield, stopped short, gain of 3.
This is a little of the concern if you're UCF. You don't have as much depth in your front defensively. You do not want to get into a game where Auburn starts to pick their tempo up and just runs it right at you. You'd much rather see them try to spray it all over the field. And one other thing to keep a little eye on is watch the depth relationship quarterback and running back.
This time Stidham rushes up again under center, fakes that end around. Stidham slips and goes down. That was set up, I think, for a deep ball, and Stidham was a good deep ball thrower, just didn't have an open target.
It sure was. And again, that's the discipline in the back end of this UCF defense. Not overwhelming, but they're very sound in what they do.
Third and long for Auburn. And a false start. That was Austin Golson, the left tackle.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
A lot of frustration there for Malzahn on that sidelines. He felt like his team was going to be ready to play. And this is not an energy or an effort thing. These guys are flying around. It's a simple fact. They've been off a month. Right? You can practice all you want, but there is nothing like game speed.
UCF fans who are here in huge numbers are making noise. It's been totally easy for Auburn to communicate. Play clock under 5. We'll get it snapped. Pressure picked up. Stidham down the middle of the field, complete for a first down into UCF territory. Darius Slayton.
Not just too much speed. He is the most explosive and dynamic of the Tigers on the outside. And just a 3-man rush trying to play Stidham on his scrambles. And shoeless Slayton gets up into the line.
Oh, well, a casualty of the quick tempo. Don't have time to get the shoe back on. Stidham faked it to Johnson. I guess sometimes you hurt yourself if you go so up tempo. Slayton signaling to the sideline that I'm playing with one cleat. Yes, somebody else help me out.
I may jump 43 inches in the vert, run 4.4, but they have both cleats on to get it done.
He is a guy. He had that 24-yard reception for the first down. That's his season average per catch. Big play target. Let's see if the pit crew can get him a tire change as fast as possible. 2nd and 11. Pressure comes. Stidham on the move. He does have athleticism. Got a couple of yards. Avoided the sack. Yeah, Shaquem Griffin thinking he should have had him.
He is so elusive. 5.5 sacks, the leader. Look at him. Look at him duck underneath that block from Golson. He is undersized, but there is nobody that plays harder in college football. Nobody. And that's not hyperbole. That's watching the game tape. That's hearing from the coaches. Remarkable story.
Another 3rd and long for Auburn. Just converted one a moment ago. Stidham will convert another one. That's a catch and an Auburn first down.
That's Marquise McLean, and he's in there for Slayton. And this is just a well-timed little outbreaking comeback route. Put right in the spot where Stidham wants it.
Well, Slayton got the cleat back on. He's back in the game. Third down conversion for Auburn on this drive alone. This will be the 11th play of the drive.
This will be a run more than likely.
Johnson in the backfield. Tigers already with a 3-0 lead. Johnson tried to get away, could not do it. He goes backwards. Rod, part of that defensive line, they have some size and strength up front. UCF does.
Just a couple little interesting tales, and I told you about the alignment there with the quarterback earlier. And when the quarterback and running back are flat like this, you're going to get a pass 9 out of 10 times. When he's deeper, it goes the other way.
Play fake. Stidham slips again.
Wow.
He's having a hard time with the footing. You would think they just played on this field their last game. That was a few weeks ago, but he is not prepared for this turf, it doesn't look like.
I don't think he was prepared for 310 in his face either. And Tristan Hill.
Maybe that's the biggest issue. It's already the 3rd sack for UCF in this first quarter. Final seconds of the quarter, Auburn's going to let him wind off.
It's a group of 21 on the entire season, 92nd in the country with sacks.
How about that? Just as we figured it would go, the UCF defense leading the way for the Knights as they try to finish off an historic and special season. The only undefeated team in college football. And if the goal for Scott Frost was to survive early, so far I think mission accomplished. Offense hasn't been pretty for UCF. Auburn's made some big hits and big plays, but the lead for the Tigers out of the SEC is just 3-0. End of quarter number 1. This is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. On New Year's Day, it's 2018. And what a day for college football fans everywhere inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 3rd and very long for Auburn. As we start the second quarter, the Tigers, 7th-ranked team of the country against undefeated number 12 UCF. With a 3-0 lead, they have converted 3rd and longs on this drive. Setting up a screen. They get it to Slayton, but that one was read well. Slayton gets into long field goal range. Remember, Auburn's got a field goal kicker who's got tremendous range and leg strength, and that's what Auburn's going to do, try a long field goal.
Yeah, Carlson 13 of 20 in his career, 50+.
Had a 25-yarder to give Auburn the first points of this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Now the senior kicking for the final time in that Auburn uniform. He's been a weapon for 4 years in a row. 53-yard try on the turf indoors. Kick is up, and it is pushed. No good. A rare miss for an All-American kicker. And the Knights will have the ball when we come back, down still just by 3. Back here in Atlanta, where Auburn leads UCF 3-0 early in the second quarter of this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Part of the intrigue of this game, Scott Frost coaching his final game with UCF off to Nebraska, and the Knights have hired a new coach, and he's with us here. Dave Fleming, Brock Hewitt, and Josh Heupel. Congratulations, Josh, on your new job, coming from Missouri, offensive coordinator. Heck of a couple of years with the Tigers in the SEC. Watching another Tigers SEC team take on your new program. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Excited to be here, and it's been a great week of festivities here, and obviously a a fast month for me.
What's been the challenge for you? Because look, this staff has been in place here. They've been kind of going back and forth, Lincoln to Orlando. What have you been able to do this last month?
Well, you're trying to balance a couple different things. You know, get to know your current players on your roster, recruit. You know, for the recruiting period that just happened, and then into January, and then you know, at the same time hire your staff, and so you know, those are the three things that we've been trying to balance, and obviously getting to enjoy a great game here today.
What about the personnel that you're going to inherit, Mackenzie Milton and company? What do you feel about, especially on the offensive side?
Yeah, special player, a lot of great young players that are inside of our program, and got to continue to add to that with our recruiting cycle here in January. But excited about the kids that are coming back.
You've been around these big stages before, back in the day. What are you seeing here in the first 15+ minutes? The #1 scoring offense in America. Having a tough time getting it going.
Yeah, obviously Auburn's great on the defensive side of the ball. They cause problems on the up front with their big physical fast guys that can get to the quarterback, and you know, great skill players on the outside. But sometimes in a bowl game scenario, I think your offense has to find itself and get itself in rhythm after a long layoff as well.
That was a big penalty. Milton, who can run, will get the first down, diving out toward midfield. Mackenzie Milton, maybe that'll help him get into a rhythm. Well, we're going to let you go enjoy this game. We just wanted to say hi, congratulate you on the new job, welcome you to UCF, and we look forward to seeing you down the road.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Josh Heupel, the new head coach for the Knights. Quick tempo, and Killens with that speed into the open field, and maybe Josh Heupel will be a good luck charm for his new program, because last two plays, two of the most productive of the game so far.
Well, and you nailed it. Sometimes just a scramble and seeing those chains move, that's the best thing for a quarterback to get into rhythm.
Play fake. Milton throws on the run, and that's his best delivery for a first down. Upfield inside the Auburn 40. Frederick Snelson had a big American Conference Championship game against Memphis. They want to go fast, but this is another shoe problem. Got to get the cleat tied. Milton tied it as fast as he could. Now he's ready to go. Another play action. Downfield, incomplete. Trying to hit Marlon Williams, the true freshman from Mobile, Alabama.
And the true freshman there may have seen that single safety and just slow down a tad. Nope, did not miss many of those shots. Or 70% on the season. Conference Player of the Year. He's putting together his best drive, and this is exactly the rhythm that Heupel was talking about, that it can take a little bit of time after a layoff.
2nd and 10. Milton, shoulder fake, now looking the other direction, just grounds it. He had a target. Now a penalty flag is thrown, and I wonder whether Otis Anderson was just flat out tackled by the defense. Scott Frost is upset. There was a receiver right there. You can't call it intentional grounding, can you?
No, he certainly was throwing that screen. That's now the 4th different screen, and Scott Frost given an earful. I think exactly to your point.
It looked to me Otis Anderson was on the ground, but it looked like he was right there.
He's going to be the back, and you've seen a variety of different screens, inside, outside.
He just got out and out tackled by Derek Brown.
There's no foul on the play for defensive holding. The running back was faked to and is legal to grab a simulated ball carrier. It's 3rd down.
Okay, so that's a good explanation from our referee. Once you play fake, you can grab a guy even if he didn't actually have one. Well, where was the fake? Good explanation, not reality.
Well, that is what Scott Frost is furious about.
Well, that's just making something up. That did not happen. And that should not happen. I don't blame UCF fans for being upset. Now 3rd and 10. UCF's offense going to take a little extra time trying to get organized. They do not have the long field goal game typically that Auburn does. Play clock is down to 8. Still not set, and UCF, with all the emotion, I think, of that call, they have to call the timeout.
This will be twofold, not only because the play clock is down, but I assure you he's going to get and want a different explanation than what we just heard from the white hat.
All right, enjoy the college football today, and then on Wednesday, an NBA doubleheader. 2 best teams in the East, Cavs, Celtics, 8 Eastern, Thunder, Lakers, 10:30 Eastern Wednesday, right here on ESPN. It'll stream live on the app. Scott has calmed down a little bit,
Yeah, I hope those zebras said, hey, the contact was behind the line of scrimmage where that is allowed. I hope they clarified that point
It was a bad explanation.
Yes.
Maybe not a bad no call. 3rd and 10. Milton, design run with a blocker out in front. Milton's going to get the first down and more. Down the sideline inside the 20.
Well done. It's been the QB run game. And look at the alley here. And Jordan Akins, 88, right in front of you, the tight end there, doing his part of the job. Milton is more than capable of doing this as a runner.
That's a big one for the Knights. Milton dancing in the pocket, throws it away. He had a receiver out there, decided not to risk the throw.
I think with everything here, just calm it down. As calm, cool, and collected as the kid is from the Islands, he's not been in this moment. He's not played a January 1 game against a foe that he just looks across from and says, man, they are big and they are fast. And I think you see that in some of the footwork right now that's just a little bit out of whack in the passing game.
Statistically, one of the very best players in college football this year. Milton, handoff for the perimeter. Anderson, nowhere to go. Anderson, he is tough to bring down for a little guy, but could not even get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's really well done on the perimeter by Auburn. You know, they want to do against all this perimeter speed, they want to keep it inside. They want to set their edge, and setting the edge is not just your defensive ends. It can be your corners out there as well to allow the pursuit to finish.
3rd and 12. Get to the line, and Milton checks with his head coach, Scott Frost.
We like the vertical game.
Got those 3 receivers on the right side. One shoulder pump. Milton going the wrong way. And again, he's just got to throw it away. Well defended by Auburn.
Got trying a little double move there. And you've seen it on both sides. Auburn did it likewise in that same end zone, trying to do a throwback with Stidham to the tight end. Well played by the defense. All eyes. Having that eye discipline you hear about. Scott Frost still mad about that call. He did not like any of the explanations that came his way.
This will be about a 33-yard field goal try for Matthew Wright. Not as explosive with the leg as Daniel Carlson, but mostly he's been reliable from the left hash. Kick is up, and it is good. And UCF has tied this game with the field goal. Scott Frost still with that look on his face. He and UCF tied with Auburn 3-3. Back here in Atlanta, we've been talking a lot about Shaquem Griffin, and deservedly so, the impact he has made on his teammates on this UCF program, but also outside the program. Really cool story leading up to this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The Davis family, an Auburn family from Alabama, reached out to UCF because they wanted to meet Shaquem. Why? They have twin boys, one of whom, Jordan, was born just like Shaquem with the same birth defect, amniotic band syndrome, and he has become an inspiration for them as young parents with their young twins. Even though they're rooting for Auburn today, they are here and they are definitely pulling for number 18. It's just amazing how many different ways Shaquem Griffin has touched people all around this sport and out, and they're the twins. Jordan is the twin who is standing with his back to us. His brother John. That's a great family, and let's go down to Allison for a little more on that story.
Dave, Shaquem just lit up when talking about the Davis family and getting a chance to meet the twins. He said it was so crazy how much they reminded him of him and his brother. And keep in mind, both sets of twins born just 60 seconds apart. And of course, as you can imagine, really connected with Jordan. He said he's just like I was when I was little, according to what my parents told me. Goes after everything head first, attacks every challenge in front of him. And these two will be connected for life. Shaquem said, I cannot wait to watch him grow up. I will definitely be in touch with them. They exchange numbers, and that is just one of many families that Shaquem has inspired.
Yeah, it is a great story, and it shouldn't obscure the fact that Griffin is such a high-level football player. We were talking about he's a twin. His twin brother, Shaquille, is in the NFL. Had his first interception, I think, yesterday, didn't he?
Pretty awesome. And I never heard a defensive coach like D coordinator Eric Shenander say that he'll live on with us forever. He'll be in our archives and our practice clips of how you practice, no matter where we're coaching.
By the way, 19-month-old Jordan already getting calls. You're a star. You're on TV. Stidham throws into the flat. A first down completion for Auburn. Gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Those Auburn shirts, they're supporting their Tigers. Both athletes, mom and dad, but Griffin's name is on the back of those Auburn shirts. Cool way to kind of split the difference. Amazing kid. And I think he's going to get a chance to play in the NFL. Jet sweep, cut up field, a broken tackle, and that will get Auburn the first down. Eli Stove, that was tough running from Stove because he was going down for a loss.
Yeah, he runs right through the tackle of Mike Hughes. You just do not see this very much. Trying to likewise get on the perimeter, and that's the tackle that UCF has made today. Just not on that snap.
Kerryon Johnson hurdling one defender up and over across midfield. Gets 7 yards.
And this should feature the run. I mean, this is a game where you have got to win this game if you're Auburn in the third and fourth quarter by wearing down this group that doesn't have the depth of personnel that you do. And I love the commitment here. Run, run, run. Do not allow UCF any momentum in life in this building.
Under 10 minutes to go, first half. That was a botched play from the start, and the ball's out. Scooped up by UCF with a block down the sideline. Trey Neal. It's been a problem for Jarrett Stidham putting the ball on the ground.
Sixth lost fumble of the season. More fumbles and interceptions. And Dave, eventually you get to plus 15 on the season for a reason. It will play itself out. The fumble in the first quarter there for UCF, and look at the 1-2 there. Can I tell you that Shaquem Griffin plays hard? He sets the block that springs that run. There's a reason this team was one of the best in college football in that turnover area. They take advantage.
What a block by Griffin. Trey Neal, the Atlanta kid, coming back home, gets the turnover. Milton, meanwhile, had his helmet almost ripped off. Got some positive yardage on first down. A chance for UCF with the turnover to take their first lead. Neal is the guy who clinched the championship game in the American with the interception in double overtime. UCF defense has come to play. Tillins in the backfield alongside Milton. Milton pressured, gets away. Milton gonna run inside the 10. Touchdown. Didn't take them long to turn that turnover into their first trip to the end zone in this game. Auburn fans are worried. Extra point is good. It's 10-3 UCF.
Opportunistic all season long have the Knights been of taking the ball away. And it's the group effort, and then it's the mentality to help your buddy out around you. The huge block from Griffin. Oh, and then the best player on offense. He may not be getting many touches, but look at the wide receiver blocking down the field to set his buddy up for 6.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think the Davis family has a little mixed emotions going right now with the twins, Jordan and John, and their affection and love for Shaquem Griffin of UCF. Pulling for Auburn, but number 18 has come to play today in this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And the Knights have their first lead, capitalizing on a turnover in the end zone for the first time. 10-3 UCF. Kick return set up out across the 25. Here comes a penalty flag from behind. Kind of late, but it's on the field. And you always assume these are against the return team.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 24, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's first down, Auburn.
That'll back Auburn up. NFL Wild Card Weekend begins this Saturday, simultaneously again this year on ESPN and ABC. Titans Chiefs from Arrowhead. What a scene that'll be. 4:30 Eastern. It'll be available on the ESPN app. The Bills are in the playoffs for the first time in forever. Maybe they're the team to root for if you don't have a rooting interest. I think a lot of people around the country are rooting for UCF in this game just because they're the underdog, they're the upstart, they're the newcomer, and also because of that guy. Auburn back at their own 10. They'll give the ball to the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, the penetration, the tackles for loss, and the sacks. Of everything here in the first 22 minutes of action, that is the biggest surprise to me. Because that is not what this group really lived on. They lived on taking the ball away, playing very sound and tackling and playing hard. This was a group that didn't live on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and they are tonight.
That's 2nd and 8 for Auburn. Johnson on Stidham's left side. Quick release out into the open field, and that's a first down Auburn. Outside the 25-yard line, Nate Craig Myers with the catch. That gives the Tigers a little breathing room. Gain of 15. Stidham's 10 of 12, 94 yards. Johnson gets the ball from Stidham. Got a couple.
Yeah, you look at it. In fact, both QBs have thrown it 12 times. Stidham's 10 of 12, tremendous efficiency. Milton on the other side is 2 of 12 for 14 yards. But it's the rushing yards, 57 yards, and capitalizing on their takeaway, some Auburn did not do.
Another tackle, by the way, for Shaquan Burkett, who wears number 2, middle linebacker. He's a fascinating story in his own right. Guy who was married with a couple young kids, decided to come back for his senior year, and I think he's probably pretty pumped that he did. He has had a really nice first half. There is a penalty flag on the field. A couple of UCF defenders down, including Shaquan Burkett. This one's going against Auburn.
Holding, offense, number 50, 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
I think it's Tristan Hill who is down. Casey Dunn, the center, called for the hold. Hill is a big sophomore, 325 pounds.
He started every game, 25 consecutive as a freshman when you walk on campus, and that helps. A group of 5 team, you need to have, and you play that odd front as they do, you've got to have some beef in the middle. Hard in the supply chain to always find quality D linemen. Pittman next to him, first team all conference. Tristan, second team. Not a surprise to win your conference, to go undefeated. You need those big fellas. They don't have as many of them as the guys on the other side. But Tristan, Pittman, Garrod have done their part.
Yeah, they need those top line players. You're right. They don't have the depth. If they lose Hill, that's a big loss. It's a good sign that he gets up and walks off the field.
And there's no question there for Scott Frost. You take him backwards. Could have been 3rd and 3 or 4. You don't want any part of that. You want to get Auburn into those one-dimensional situations, into that throwing game, and allow Griffin and crew and some of the exotic blitzes that they do have to get after. And you see our guy once again.
Auburn's controlled the time of possession, just not a lot to show for it. Only the 3 points here in the first half. Griffin gets right into the backfield, and he gets Stidham down.
Well, I showed you earlier his ability to leverage and to dip and get underneath. This is all about quickness. And this is why the guys at the next level will not doubt him. But you cannot doubt the productivity. And look at the jump move here, the big tackle. He's given up 100 pounds on Darius James. And he showed him the duck and under move, and that time the inside move, the quickness. The kiddo's liking it, saying, it's my guy.
3rd and 28. They're going to hand the ball off. Kerryon Johnson gets what he can, but UCF, and now more penalty flags after the play. Pushing and shoving. The fullback Chandler Cox right in the middle of it. Trey Neal. I think Auburn hit somebody late.
I think Auburn is frustrated.
They are. If this is against Auburn, they're going to have to punt the ball away from their end zone.
Listen to this place.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 27, half the distance to the goal. It'll be 4th down.
I think you said it. They are not happy with the way this game is going.
Nope. And I don't see this as a feeling of, oh, they didn't show up to play. Oh, they're just disappointed. I see it a difference of 18 in crew playing with their hair on fire, which is exactly what they have done and sustained it over the course of this season.
Remember, Mike Hughes may be the most dangerous return man in the country. He is standing in midfield for UCF. And Aiden Marshall and Auburn going to have to punt it from the end zone. Hughes has 1 punt return TD, 2 kickoff return touchdowns on the season. He also has returned an interception for a touchdown. The guy knows how to get into the end zone, and he wants the ball. That one a very high kick. Hughes will have to signal fair catch. UCF will take it though.
Don't tell me what I can't do. Let me show you what I can do. I could be the most dominant player on the field right now with one hand.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living. The 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. And AT&T.
The competition between the teams before the game, go-karting, basketball, they played Family Feud against one another. Auburn did end up edging out UCF for their sort of pregame championship belt. Now on the field, UCF has kind of taken control of this game. First down after the punt and the fair catch right near midfield. Otis Anderson with the carry for a couple of yards.
It's 23 plays now, and that is just the 26th play, and just the 5th between the tackles for the Knights. Just enough to keep that defense honest so they can push the ball to the perimeter.
Mackenzie Milton, who's been getting it done on the ground, fakes that little fly sweep. He wants to go deep across the middle, and he has it knocked away. Marlon Williams had his hands on it. Good play by Stephen Roberts. That would have been a big gain.
That is a tough throw. That is a little play action getting on the perimeter. It's flat, it's cross, and it's all the way back across the field. And that's wonderfully done by Roberts, the safety, the senior that sneaks his hand in there on the true freshman that's got to learn that, man, guys are going to be flying on this field around me, and I've got to secure that catch, because that was the best throw of the day for Milton.
3rd and 8. Now the Auburn fans getting loud.
Zone look here defensively for Auburn.
Plenty of time on the play clock. Showing a 4-man rush. They'll bring 4. Milton in the pocket. He has a man wide open, and he couldn't hit Anderson. That was a touchdown. He was wide open and just a little too far.
Yeah, that says it all. The first one, the first down shot, Williams got to come down with it to make a play. And this one, you've just got to have enough patience. Look at the protection. I mean, that is ideal protection. Your guys are giving you time, and that's the matchup they wanted. They wanted Otis Anderson on the second level against those linebackers. And just a tad more air in this building would erupt. And you're looking at 17-3, and instead Auburn finds a way to dodge a bullet.
Circle that one.
Yep.
That feels like a big moment in this game. Loudermilk trying to pin Auburn deep. Was not going to pin him that deep inside the 20, but at about the 16. There is a penalty flag back near where the ball was snapped.
And late in the year against UCF and Memphis, I am telling you, there were not 3 of those misses in those 2 games combined. But it's just a different environment, different speed.
Holding, receiving team number 79. Half the distance from where the kick was caught. It's 1st down, Auburn.
Well, in this phase of the game, it's killing Gus Malzahn.
Killing him.
I mean, from running into the punter, which was a 21-yard penalty, to a ball that's bouncing, to multiple penalties now in this phase of it. All those hidden yards you always hear about in this phase of the game. Auburn's losing that in a big way.
That's a hold on a pooch punt fair catch where guys are sort of jogging down the field. That's just an unforced error, and it's going to pin Auburn back inside the 10 and around the 8-yard line. And around 5 minutes to go first half. The UCF defense has played so well. How long can they hold up against the speed and the talent of the Auburn offense? Kerryon Johnson leaves the backfield. So Jared Stidham's all alone. You do have to cover him. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. On first down. Stidham didn't have his first option. He checks down to the fullback Chandler Cox, who doesn't touch the ball very often, but he hangs on for the completion. Let's go down to Allison.
Jared Stidham told me he likes to keep things loose. That's what he was trying to do here on the sideline, walking up and down the offensive bench area, telling guys we're good, keep your composure. A couple points for the offensive line from O-line coach Herb Hand. Some adjustments to how they need to approach number 18, make sure they keep him running up the field. And he told them, we are killing ourselves. Play like you're capable of.
Hand off, and Shaquem Griffin got in on that tackle to stop Kerryon Johnson short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. He does it all. He's not just a pure pass rusher. Third and 2, Auburn substituting, so they got to give UCF a chance to get their personnel set up. Johnson is in the game, and it looks like he's going to take the direct snap. I love this Wildcat type formation. He will fake it, keep it. Johnson, I don't think so. Close, and maybe with that spot, maybe falling over the pile there, he might have gotten it.
I think it was that last little reach, and that football in the right arm as he is reaching over.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just fell forward and reached enough to get it. First down, Auburn.
There should be no panic, and there won't be from Stidham. There was no flinching in the Iron Bowl. He's been in big moments all season long. He's sitting at it looking, going, gosh, I'm 11 of 13. I'm in good rhythm. All right, I'm finding rhythm, unlike my competitor on the other sidelines who has just missed some shots and isn't in any passing rhythm at 2 of 14. There will be no panic, no flinch from Stidham.
Well, they are going to take a look at the spot, so we'll get a chance to look at it ourselves, see if they got it right. Needs to get outside that 18. Did he stay up? I think they got the spot mostly right. That elbow went down, but the nose of the football, again, that yellow line's not official. I think falling forward there, I think they got it mostly right. This is a running back, Kerryon Johnson, remember, who gashed Alabama. Right, big plays against Georgia and just about everybody in the SEC. The offensive player of the year in the SEC.
I'll tell you what, they're having to use him a little more than they would love to. Chip Lindsey was saying to us in our meeting yesterday, we like to keep his touches less than 20 before the 4th quarter. And right now that is 13 carries for Kerryon. They really want to limit it. So he is fresh against Scott Frost and the other side. It's the first time I've heard a coach say that. They're real protective of those touches over the course of the game because they want him to be as fresh as possible late.
Well, waiting to see if the spot was the correct one. The other side, we've been talking about how UCF's defense has played in this first half. The last 2 games for Scott Frost's team, they allowed a combined 97 points. They have allowed 3 in this first half to Auburn. Trying to finish off a spectacular special season. Now let's get the call.
In the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's first down.
That was close, but I think they got it right. Yep. UCF fans do not agree with me. That guy does not agree with me. He will be taking all of his staff with him to Lincoln, Nebraska. They're all going.
That doesn't happen in college football.
The final game for that group of coaches with this special group of players. Stidham on the run, throws. Nice accurate throw with the big hit on the other end. DeVell Clark, the sophomore's having a heck of a game.
They're picking on him, and that's what happens when you play opposite of Mike Hughes. Corner on the bottom plays so much press coverage. They like to typically go away from him. Clark doing his part.
Johnson, stutter step, squirted through, and got stopped close. I think the spot is going to give him the first down. Under 3.5 to go first half. Auburn, they got plenty of time, plus they have all their timeouts. But they are being pretty deliberate here inside that 4-minute offense. Swing that one out right side. Cut back middle by Ryan Davis, the leading pass catcher. In fact, he set an Auburn record 76 catches this year for Ryan Davis.
I've made this point a couple times, and every time Jarrett's gone under center, but just watch this depth between QB and running back. Okay, and when they're 1.5 yards or so, it's been about 100% run, and that is something that UCF is absolutely playing to.
So this would be a run, wouldn't it?
And they're going to just bust that tendency for the first time.
Davis broke a tackle and gets a first down.
So that is a tendency buster right there. It is something because of the patience for Gus Malzahn and Carrion and everything they do in their game. That is a tendency that UCF had coming into this game, the depth of that running back. And right there.
This time they do hand it off to midfield.
What does that mean? That means those linebackers are keyed in. That means something that they're all pointing out, and they're not going to say it out loud, and they're not going to tell the other side that they're seeing it and feeling it. But it's absolutely been a tendency of theirs they've studied, and now when they're closer together, this has shown much more pass over the course of the season and the plan coming in.
UCF got some subs on the field. Second down and about 4. Clock continues to roll. They're under 2 minutes now. Getting closer to field goal range, but if they want a chance at the end zone, maybe need a little more urgency. Davis tripped up. There's Mike Hughes.
And he's good.
Scouts like him at the next level, big time.
Well, you're a game changer. Right, 2 kickoff return touchdowns, a punt return touchdown, a pick 6.
Auburn did take the timeout with 3rd and 4 coming up. 1:32 to go in this first half. They've taken a long time to get just to midfield. So they'll talk it over on both sides ahead of this 3rd down play. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, committed to honoring blimp-worthy athletes who demonstrate hard work on and off the field. Goodyear, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. The old Georgia Dome, just the remnants just outside this brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where 1 week from tonight the national championship will be decided. Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, winners of those 2 are going to meet right here on this field.
Awesome.
And who will it be? We'll find out later today.
You know, and speaking to those tendencies as well, because Auburn has other ones in their run game, they don't mind that, because it allows you to bust it every once in a while, and just when it's been 9 out of 10 times, they're going to do something to mix it up and change it up. But it certainly has been a tell here in the first half. This showing pass.
3rd and 4 out of the timeout. Pressure picked up initially. That one across the middle for a first down and more. Ryan Davis in the open field inside the 35. Still on his feet. Gets close to the 30. Big play for Auburn.
You just got to keep being patient, Dave. It is there. You're 14 of 18 now, completing those. There is space. You just can't get greedy.
They're getting the ball to their record-setting pass catcher. That's his 4th straight catch. Stidham down the sideline into coverage, almost intercepted. Mike Hughes all over Darius Slayton.
Yeah, throw the other way. I know Slayton's your touchdown maker, and he's your big guy you try to isolate in those situations, but 19's too good. Originally at North Carolina, transferred out of there, went to Garden City Junior College, was wanted by a lot of people, could have, I think, had his host of SEC schools to play for, was not going to be eligible until much closer to the regular season, and what a gift that landed in Orlando.
Well, it's been an impressive drive, but you saw those numbers. They've already run 11 plays, almost 4 minutes off the clock. Maybe it'll all work out for them, but 1:12 left and still needing 31 yards if they want to get in the end zone. Another little slant, flags on the field. Inside the 25 for a positive gain if the play stands. We'll see. Eli Stove with the catch. The way Gus Malzahn is reacting, I think he thinks it's against his Tigers.
It would be number 7 already in this first half if it is.
Auburn's offensive lineman, though, pointing the other way. We'll see. You could read the lips. If it's 1st and 5, where would the ball be? What a look from the UCF head coach. They are doing a lot of talking. Oh, got to get it right. Okay, we were almost ready. You could hear the microphone. Brandon, no, wait. Yeah, we know. Sometimes it takes a while.
They want to get it right, too.
Holding, defense, number 54. 10-yard penalty is enforced from the previous spot. The penalty results in a first down.
So from the previous spot, you take the 10 yards and the first down. That's pretty significant penalty. And now Auburn with the 2 timeouts with time now that they're at the 20.
That's a big nose tackle right there.
He grabbed him on the jersey. The defensive lineman did.
I think there was a kind of a grab on the other D-line that Scott Frost probably still has somewhere in his mind from this first half as well.
1st and 10 Auburn. Kerryon Johnson in the backfield. Stidham throws. That one was deflected. Incomplete. Tipped at the line trying to hit Will Hastings. Savon Lowry got up and got a hand on the ball.
You got to get 7 here if you're Auburn. Right, you're going to get the ball to begin the second half. UCF wanted it. They wanted to start with their offense. But you do not want to allow this defense to hold you to field goals now on multiple occasions in the first half. And you can't, and you don't have to get it all right here on second down. Anytime, timeouts.
Long drive. They started on their own 9-yard line, Auburn did. 1 minute, 2 seconds to go until halftime. Stidham throws. Incomplete. Trying to hit Davis. It'll be 3rd down.
That's one of his rare misses. And this is a great chess match right here. What are you going to do with Shaquem Griffin blitz-wise? Are you going to play a little coverage here? You've rushed 3. You've thrown just about everything at Jarrett Stidham. There's number 18, as Allison reported. Big conversation on that sidelines to figure out where that difference maker is.
He almost like he tries to hide before the play starts. Out on the right side, just a pure pass rush from him, and he and his teammates get there. Back to the 30. That is their 5th sack of the first half. Timeout. UCF calls the timeout, which is interesting with 50 seconds left.
Can I remind you again, 21 on the entire season? And look at big Braden Smith. That doesn't happen. That is the most powerful offensive lineman, Braden Smith right there, the right guard. He is driven backwards, and it's an ideal rush. You're squeezing from the outside. You've got no room to step up. You're suffocated in that pocket. I'm sure Auburn fans are like, man, this feels like Clemson a little bit when they sacked you 11 times to begin the year. Thought you'd figured that riddle out a little bit. And I certainly did not anticipate the Knights being able to really impose their will from a pass rush standpoint, something they've not done largely all season long.
Daniel Carlson will be out to try his 3rd field goal of this first half. He's 1 for 2, missed one from 53. This one 47 yards, middle of the field. You expect him to make these with his leg and accuracy. Carlson right down the middle, up and good. For Auburn, it was an impressive drive until the very end. They started at their own 9. They moved down the field and get 3 points to make it a 10-6 game. UCF with still a couple of timeouts and 45 seconds on the clock, so we'll see. By the way, earlier today, Chick-fil-A and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl proud to donate $100,000 to the general scholarship funds of both Auburn and at UCF. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl's chairman Percy Vaughn, its president and CEO Gary Stoken, with Rodney Bullard, who's the president of the Chick-fil-A Foundation. They all presented checks to both schools. Chick-fil-A and this bowl have a long history of promoting the pursuit of higher education. In 2017 alone, as we look back on 2017, on the first day of the new year, they awarded over $10 million in scholarships and charitable donations thanks to them.
It's awesome. I'll tell you what else, I like that timeout from Scott Frost. I don't think he believes in any way this game's going to look like this in the second half. It'd be a 20-12 game. And he's going to have to maximize possessions with Auburn getting the ball to begin the second half. And that plays into your mindset and who you are. You're the #1 scoring offense in America at 49 a game. He's not going to take away or diminish any possession. Took that timeout. More than enough time with still 2 of those.
And remember, so far, Brock, they have kept the ball out of the hands of Hughes on the kick return game with the touchbacks. They will try to do that again here.
75% on the season. That should not be a surprise in a perfect environment to kick.
Hughes itching to get a chance. He's brought 2 of them back this year for the Knights. And this one, borderline, and he is going to bring it out. And here comes Mike Hughes. Hughes with that quickness outside the 25, gets to the 30. Took some seconds, but a little extra field position for UCF. Extra yard for teachers, the College Football Playoff Foundation's primary initiative. Mission to elevate the teaching profession by inspiring and empowering teachers. This season, teams, players, coaches saluted teachers in their local communities. Hosted, honored them in stadium ceremonies. That'll continue through the New Year's 6 bowl games. For more information, go to cfp-foundation.org. Thank you to all of our teachers out there. We do not take you for granted.
I'm the son of a couple, and I know the impact that they can have in communities all over our country. Happy New Year, Mom and Dad.
All right. 38 seconds to go, first half. You see if Milton and UCF, they're going to be aggressive here, it looks like. Gotta be careful. That throw incomplete. Another low throw from McKenzie Milton, who is just having a terrible time of it, despite the fact that his team has the 10-6 lead.
And despite that, he's getting good enough protection.
He is. We figured if things were going to go wrong for that guy, it would be because he just didn't have any time, a la Sam Darnold. You saw him the other night in the Cotton Bowl where he just couldn't set up. That has not been the case for this kid.
Stidham's the one who's been sacked 5 times. The group from Auburn has played so conservatively. It is impactful.
Milton back to pass, steps up. It kind of opens up in front of him. McKenzie Milton with that speed will get close to midfield, pushed out at the 45. That stops the clock, saves those timeouts. 27 seconds to go here in the first half.
I think sometimes those D linemen get used to watching, as you see in Matthew Wright warm up, get used to watching all this tape, right? And seeing this little quarterback run around and make plays. And sometimes they're taught, stay in your lane, make sure you don't let him get out. Those guys on that D line need to turn it up.
Matthew Wright, the kicker, getting ready. That one well delivered, and this time his receiver hangs on. Traquan Smith with the catch into Auburn territory. Clock stops to get set up for the first down. UCF hustles up there, trying to get lined up. They do. Are they going to clock it? No, they're letting the clock wind and going to run a play. Pressure comes, throw over the middle, incomplete. I don't know if the tight end saw the ball. Jordan Akins.
No, I don't think he did. I think he was looking for a little penalty there, and that was one of the first times Kevin Steele has really heated that pocket up. He's not had to on Milton. Well, McKenzie has escaped a few times from that pocket. But not a whole lot of blitzing, and Kevin Steele does not want to blitz this group. He does not want to leave those little guys out in some space in one-on-one matchups on safeties and linebackers.
2nd and 10. That one was costly. That cost UCF almost 10 seconds, and it was incomplete on the back end. Milton in the pocket, going to run again. Milton, can he squirt through? Diving forward, takes a hit inside the 30. They're going to spot him down at about the 29-yard line. Scott Frost rushed out onto the field to take a timeout. While we have a moment, let's check in studio with Cassidy Hubbard. Cassidy?
Thanks, Dave. Michigan looking to keep the Big Ten unbeaten this bowl season, taking on South Carolina in the Outback Bowl. And Ron Higgin, 16-yard tightrope run, gets him down to the 1. That would set up a touchdown. It's 16-3 Wolverines over on ESPN2. Dave, Brock, Allison, back to you.
All right, thank you.
Man, that Big Ten.
What a bowl season.
Holy cow.
I tend to downplay a little bit what you can take away from bowl season games.
When it's that extraordinary.
When it's that extreme, I think it tells you something. And probably on the other end with the Pac-12.
Yes. It's dreadful. 1-8. Big Ten looking to go undefeated. But the best offense today for the Knights. And when you're the #1 scoring offense, you typically find unique and different ways to get it done. If you would have told me that Mackenzie Milton would be 3 of 17 for 30 yards, I would have said, uh-oh.
A disaster.
But he's compensated by rushing 7 times for 83 yards and given his opportunity and given his team and offense an opportunity here with a field goal before half.
With no timeouts, just can't risk another play. So this will be a 45-yard try for Matthew Wright, his long this year, 47. This kick is on the way, and it is good. How about that? UCF, remember, they used a timeout on defense when Auburn was in scoring position on the other end to give themselves a chance, and that worked out pretty well. The final play of the first half is 3 points for the undefeated Knights.
Whatever it takes. Typically you get to 12-0 because over the course of the season you found many unique and different ways to win, and they certainly have.
So the teams head to their respective locker rooms, and the Knights have to be feeling pretty good, all things considered, about how this one has gone. Scott Frost down on the field with Allison, our AT&T Field Pass.
Thank you very much, Coach Frost. We've seen your quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, pick up yards running the ball. How can you help him find more of a rhythm passing it?
You know, I think he just had some nerves early. He's missed a couple that he doesn't usually miss, but he'll come back out and settle down in the second half. Sometimes running and getting hit a couple times loosens you out.
Speaking of getting hit, your defense doing a great job. 5 sacks so far in the first half. What's been the key defensively?
They're playing hard. These kids play hard for each other. I think they wanted to prove we belong in a game like this against a team like this.
Scott, thank you.
All right, thanks, Allison. Thanks, Scott Frost. What a half for UCF, trying to stay undefeated, the only undefeated team in college football, the underdog in the New Year's Six. The so-called little guy up against a powerhouse program from the SEC, and UCF looked like they belong on the turf here in Atlanta. Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Jonathan Vilma from Pasadena. Halftime coming up after this break. Welcome back to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, no question that Auburn's got their hands full. The Tigers out of the SEC against undefeated UCF, and Auburn is down as we start the second half, 13-6. The Knights have the lead. Auburn will get the football first.
They're down, Dave, but they've been sacked 5 times. They have not had any explosive plays. They've not played their style of ball at all. And yet they're down 7. And I'm sure it was a bit emotional in there, and Gus is going to challenge his big people, but when it's said and done, they've dominated time of possession 21-9, and they got to get back to playing their brand of ball.
A returnable kickoff here to start the second half. And a little stutter step move out into the open field. Along the left sideline, Auburn with the big play in special teams. Noah Igbenegini, the freshman. That's a start for the Tigers.
And you could hear it from the first crack of that helmet on that block. That set the whole tone. That was the initial lane right there, and then the hesitation. You see Carrion do that as a running back. He will just slide into that crease, and there you see some of the playmaking. And a game-changing, explosive play that this team and this environment and I think this fan base sitting here really needs.
71-yard kick return. The special teams has been a disaster for Auburn in this game until now. A first down for Jared Stidham and the Auburn offense in a great spot to start the half. Kerryon Johnson goes down at the line of scrimmage. Guess who?
It's just, it is so cool to watch this guy. And I'll tell you, obviously that's Shaquem Griffin. And to hear the defensive coordinator yesterday say to us, he'll live on with us forever. Yeah, we're going to move on to Nebraska, the whole staff is. But we have so many practice clips in our archives that we carry with us and we will carry forward. And to hear them say we will never, ever have a practice player like Griffin, that resonates.
Not have never, will never. There will never be another guy like this. Second down and long. Griffin rushing the passer. Stidham, touchdown. A penalty flag thrown, but Will Hastings hangs on. And maybe targeting at the end of that play. But he hung on to the football, and Auburn is in the end zone for the first time today.
A little Milton-esque, buying a little bit of time, having the eyes up, and you see it right in front of him. Hastings coming down the field. And yes, I think there's no doubt they're going to take another look at it. The concentration, Hastings takes his eyes off for just a moment to protect himself from the contact there and secure the touchdown.
The play is a touchdown. During the play, personal foul, targeting, defense number 23. The ruling of targeting is under review.
And of course, they will review it. Trey Neal is one of UCF's best players.
Yeah, he's their big hitter at safety, and he's trying to do his part. He sees everything happening. He can see the scramble drill, and Hastings take it up the field, so he's trying to separate as best he can one receiver from football. Looks like it could be to the back shoulder plate.
I think he may. They may pick that one up. You know, you watch it real time, it looks like targeting. You watch it like this.
Yeah.
I think there's also a question about whether he actually made the catch, and I think the replay officials can look at both things here. So did he secure it? I don't think that's targeting personally. I do think he held onto the ball unless there's something we're not seeing at the very end.
You've got to give Trey Neal, and any defensive player sitting at their couch right now on New Year's Day is saying, what do you want that safety to do? What do you know,
yeah.
I get it when we have seen, and I know the rule, and it has changed the strike zone, and it's been awesome for college football because it's got guys to change their strike zone. But you're asking that guy to separate the receiver in real-time speed there from the football.
Yeah, I agree with that point.
Now, they will also look at whether or not Hastings, when he turns up the field...
Did he go out of bounds?
Well, is he forced out of bounds?
I think he might have stepped on the sideline there.
Yes, but he can come back in and be the first to touch it if that judge deems that he is pushed. And was there a shove, and was that the impetus to push him out of bounds?
You think he was? I guess there's a lot going on this replay. Did he catch the ball? Was there targeting? Did he go out of bounds? If he did, was he forced out of bounds? So was he in is the first question before you move on.
I think it's going to be that right foot there about the 12-yard line would be the foot in question of whether or not he stepped out of bounds.
Whether they have enough to say for sure he stepped out of bounds, I don't know.
That's going to be awfully tough. And the field, and the call on the field, critical there. But we know why the rule, and we have talked through this on our broadcast, and I know you have as well. That rule is put in place that if you launch yourself into enforceable contact to the head or neck area, or you use the crown of your helmet, and to me, he's turning to use his shoulder, and he's, you know, and then the receiver's going down, and he's hitting him in the back nameplate.
I think he used his shoulder. I don't think that's targeting personally. They did communicate to our truck that the catch is going to stand. So they've gotten through that part of the replay. Now they're looking at the targeting aspect of it. They had three different things that they had to go through on this one play.
It's critical. I mean, this is the big play that Auburn so desperately needed. This is your strong safety that can cover, that can hit, that can really be a difference maker. That is a strong tie on New Year's Day.
How about Will Hastings, by the way? He walked on at Auburn, not as a wide receiver, as a kicker. He was a walk-on kicker who has turned himself into a good player for Auburn on offense, and he's got a touchdown in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, but he's also their quickest player. And digging in a little bit, it was fun catching up with Cole Kublik, who's on the sidelines for the radio call, the former Tiger. Like, I don't think that guy's not a tremendous athlete. The fastest 3-cone drill and eye test, and he's been a difference maker. He's really grown with Stidham over the course of the season. And I know this is a tough call, but you got to give a defensive player some latitude.
There were two aspects of the play to review. The ruling on the field that the receiver stayed in bounds stands as called. The play results in a touchdown. There is no foul for targeting.
Good.
Number 23 is in the game.
Good.
So now you got cheering, booing, cheering, and nobody knows what to do. The bottom line for Auburn is they needed that badly in the kickoff return, and then the big play through the pass game was Stidham to Hastings.
Yep.
They're an extra point away from tying it up. Not even a minute into the second half. That was a big time play on both ends. Carlson punches it through, and this game is tied 13-13. First Auburn touchdown of the game. Before kickoff to start this second half, so a few moments ago, Allison Williams did catch up with the Auburn head coach.
Your offense, what was the message as far as finishing drives?
Yeah, the message was we played about as bad as we played all year for a half of football. And we challenged them in there to come out and play Auburn football. You got to give their team credit, but we played our worst half offensively. So we'll see what happens. We challenged them. We got a lot of winners out there. I expect us to come out and play better.
Gus, thank you.
Well, good stuff from Gus Malzahn. Dave Fleming, Brock Hubert, Allison Williams here from Atlanta, and I think challenge accepted, right? Looks like Auburn listened to their head coach.
Yeah, and I think probably that third phase of the game too that we don't spend nearly enough time talking about, in that special teams phase that the UCF really dominated, and to come out and to set the tone in that way on the kickoff return, pay it off on the extended scramble, and we get just what we want, a tie ball game.
Yeah, even with that touchdown, I don't think there's any question that Auburn's got their hands full in this game. UCF's defense has played well overall. The special teams did set that one up. Now we'll see if the UCF offense can get going.
I'll tell you what, Auburn dominated that ball in that first half.
They did.
A number of plays, and for a group that, again, just does not have the overall depth, what is that going to look like in the final 15 minutes of this one?
Will be interesting to see. College football playoff semifinals after our game. So right after we're done, out to Pasadena, the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, Oklahoma, Georgia, and then the nightcap, the All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans, Clemson, Alabama, Part 3. And this was either just moments ago or as we're talking, Baker Mayfield and the Sooners heading into the Rose Bowl.
Pretenders.
Interesting sign.
I'm going to guess that was a quote from the other side, maybe about Oklahoma and Baker at some point in the season.
Yeah, a little extra motivation for Oklahoma. I don't think they need it today. UCF gets the ball. Milton throws, and he hits his target on the left side for a UCF first down. That's Dredrick Nelson, the sophomore.
And those are the throws early that you heard Scott Frost say to Allison, maybe a little nervous with my QB, that he will settle down in the second half. That was the exact throw he missed on the first possession, high and wide.
I don't think he would have even dreamed it were possible for him to throw as poorly as he did in the first half. He was very effective running the ball. UCF's running game otherwise didn't do much, and they don't do much there. Adrian Killens for a couple of yards.
And that is just to keep that group honest. They're not going to make a living in there. You're talking 158 pounds at tailback, running into about almost 700 between the two tackles, D tackles of Auburn. But that's just for the eye discipline to keep that group defensively honest.
2nd and 8, Milton faked one way, came back to Killens. That was well defended by Auburn. That's the type of play that a lot of times in the regular season UCF went a long way.
Yeah, that's big old Derek Brown. When you've got big fellas that can run. I'll be curious what Adrian Killens has to say about the SEC speed post game in this one. But those guys up front are unique, and I know they were challenged as well to get to the quarterback. 0 sacks in that first half.
3rd and 5. Maybe showing a little pressure here. They didn't pressure much with extra rushers in the first half. We'll see. They just send 4. Milton steps up. Milton will throw, and it's caught, but the big hit. And that will stop the Knights short by a yard. Traquan Smith held on. Jamel Dean with the big hit. Now Scott Frost has a decision.
Yeah, well, that was man-to-man, but this is pretty cool. A little adjustment from Kevin Steele. He's going to spy the quarterback with his safety. Stephen Roberts all over it. And on the perimeter, you see the man-to-man coverage in the big corner. Dean with the tackle. They're going.
They are going.
Or at least they're going to give the appearance of going and may try to hard count here.
Fourth and 1. And now a false start. Well, I don't know whether they were actually going for it.
Offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
But the penalty probably makes the decision for Coach Frost.
And that's big Chavis Dickey there, the senior, 340 pounds. And when you flinch, everyone notices.
No hiding Chavis Dickey.
Yep. It wasn't a much there, but just enough. And 57 Davis, the middle linebacker, he wasn't going to miss it.
Well, a big return on the kickoff for Auburn. Set up the touchdown that has tied it. Now Loudermilk will punt it to the Tigers, and Stephen Roberts. Fair catch inside the 20. That's where the Auburn offense will have the ball for a second time in this second half. Tigers trying to turn this game around. Stidham and company on the field when we come back. Truly maybe the most amazing kid in college football, in all of sports right now, Shaquem Griffin, who wears that prosthetic on his left arm to help with his weightlifting. In high school, he was the 5th best triple jumper in the country. He came as a safety, hardly played. This Scott Frost coaching staff took over and said, we got to get this guy on the field. He is a film junkie in the preseason. That was a mattress. He lived in the film room. He slept there every night. He studies, he works like nobody those coaches have ever been around. And he, by force of will and a lot of athletic ability too, has turned himself into a heck of a player. He and the UCF defense back on the field, and overall the Knights defense has held up well against this Auburn offense.
Yeah, there just has not been the space for Kerryon Johnson. I love the commitment to it. That's 17 rushes now for 60 yards. They're not deviating from who they are, but you have just not seen that lane that Kerryon is so used to. He's got one run where he bounced outside, but it's been some hard yards today.
Healthy coming into this game. He was not healthy on this field in the SEC championship against Georgia. Second and 9. They'll hand the ball off straight ahead with a hole and a nice gain. That's Cam Martin, the sophomore, who's got a lot of talent in his own right. First down, Auburn.
Well, and that was a big time block there from Chandler Cox, 27. He led the way. He got a hat on a hat from one of the rare times on Griffin and pushed him down the field to set that up.
They're going to give it right back to Martin, and once again straight ahead, this time for 2, maybe 3.
Been around Gus Malzahn a number of times. That was about as emotional coming out of halftime as you and I have heard him before. I think he knows the magnitude and the meaning of this one for his group to finish the season, to get right in a bowl game. And really challenged, I believe, more than anything, his big men to take this game over.
We watched him after Allison's chat was over. Stidham going deep, right sideline into coverage, and tipped up incomplete. Maybe some Georgia fans would have flashbacks watching that ball hang in the air from a few years ago. Trey Neal, who stayed in the game, no targeting on him with the coverage.
Well, that's the matchup they wanted. That's their big-time receiver, 81, their touchdown maker, Slayton, on a safety that is vulnerable in space, but credit Neal for the awareness.
Good coverage by Trey Neal. Hometown kid from here in Atlanta. Gus Malzahn, after that conversation with Allison, he was yelling at a bunch of his players. You are right about that.
Right here, it's the guy you got to count for.
Number 18, this time on the left side of the line. 3rd and 7. Stidham will throw, and this time Slayton has the catch.
I'll tell you, Slayton did an excellent job, sorry Dave, of giving Stidham some room. And Stidham has been sharp. He's 18 to 24, and he gives him just enough room. See that? He's not cut off to the boundary, so that throw could take him. So many times receivers just run. They just run themselves out of bounds. They give you quarterback no room to throw it. Very well done by Slayton, and yet again a precise throw from Stidham.
That's a big one, almost 30 yards for the Auburn first down into UCF territory. Cox, the fullback, motions into the backfield. Kerryon Johnson gets the ball, spins off of one would-be tackler, tosses another one aside. Flag is thrown. Now he goes down. I thought there was a flag. It could have been a piece of equipment that just flew up in the air. I think there is a flag. I guess not. Something flew up in the air and it looked like a penalty flag.
Drop pads, mouthpieces, wristbands.
Instead, it's just a loss of 2 for Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, people wonder, a little with Saquon Barkley as well. Kerryon, people wondering if he's going to play in the league next year, if this is going to be it, and how much want to he'd have. I think that run pretty representative of his effort all afternoon.
He could have tapped out of this game too. He was not healthy in that SEC championship game. He wanted to play. Stidham throws. He's got the fullback in the flat for a big gain. Cox inside the 25. His second catch of the day.
Six touches in the first 13 games, so why not? Why not pay off the guy that really set the tone here, I think, on this drive from a run standpoint first. It's going to be a run right at him.
This time Cox as a lead blocker. That's his normal role, and he put a big block on to help Johnson get 8 yards.
Ooh, Mr. Davis, Titus Davis, hello. That was the tackler that he threw off, and that time Kerryon running right through the outside linebacker. These plays could start to stack up on this night defense.
Auburn's offense looks totally different. 2nd and 2 to Ryan Davis. Nice cut inside the 10, inside the 5. 1st and goal, Auburn.
This is their rhythm. Josh Heupel was talking about the rhythm struggles for UCF in that first quarter. Long sustained drives, couldn't finish it. That kickoff return, the touchdown to pay it off, and now in the red zone.
They get the ball snapped quickly. Johnson, touchdown. Auburn back ahead.
Dave, I know you love baseball in the game of adjustments. You saw it with Auburn's defense going to a little spy. You see it here in the commitment to Chandler Cox, 27. More of 18. That's not great, but he does enough. Gets a shoulder pad on him earlier. He's right into his chest. And they're not messing around. We are going to, and Gus Malzahn's, I think, emotion was an indicator to you and I. We are going to get more physical, and we are going to commit to running right at UCF.
Auburn down by a touchdown at halftime, and riding their star running back. They are now up a touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. Can the Knights respond? We'll be back after this.
It was a slugfest, a defensive battle. LSU, the comeback, down 20 in the first half. They're going to win it. Number 1 goes down, setting up the mother of all Iron Bowls, part 2. Kerryon, there's the jump pass. Gary Cole, touchdown. And they're coming out of the stands at Jordan Hare.
The Dogs have defeated Auburn.
I'm not sure how many people would have thought this game would have turned out like this.
Well, not many teams, in fact, no other teams beat number 1 twice in the regular season. That's what Auburn did, but they lost on this field with a chance to go to the playoff. Trying for some redemption. Jared Stidham and company have a 7-point lead.
Yeah, you said it. No one better at home this year. Little struggles on the road, and Kerryon said it in the second half. Get off me, Titus Davis, and then right back at you again with the touchdown run and running through tackles in that second half. Question about the want to. And this is an awfully big drive right now for UCF in a game that we see in college football all the time. It swings so wildly in momentum. Finally on the side of Auburn in this building.
Mike Hughes is going to bring this one out, coming left, but can't get around. Can he? No. Still on his feet, but going backwards inside the 10. Let's go down to Allison.
Hey there, Dave. Well, Gus Malzahn told us that he challenged his team at the half. You're seeing the results of that on the field, and you can hear the difference on the sideline, too. A lot of the players echoing that sentiment, pushing one another, encouraging one another. A lot more chatter than we saw in that first half. Jared Stidham, their quarterback, telling his guys, you need to go out there and dominate each play. So whatever he said at the half in that locker room, it really hit home with these guys.
There weren't that many smiles or looks like that in the first half.
No, but there really wasn't any panic either.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't have been. And I guess if there's panic, this is not a good sign. That is Mike Hughes, the most dynamic player, especially on that defense for UCF.
I don't know if this is a cramp. He was grabbing that right foot like he was trying to stretch out a cramp. That, I think, would be ultimately good news.
Trey Matthews slow to get up as well.
Another important player. So those two guys trying to get things together. That'll give us a chance to step aside. We'll be back. UCF has the ball, down 7 after this. Hey, speaking of that, by the way, our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, watching over the hard work and determination of limp-worthy athletes for over 60 years. Goodyear, official sponsor of the college football playoff. They are getting the stage, the Fan Fest area, already just outside this Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where 1 week from tonight, the national championship game will be played. Auburn's so close to being in the mix, in the playoff mix. They have come from behind as UCF starts his drive with a handoff on the edge with their quick running back Otis Anderson, and he has his best run of the day, a UCF first down, and a little breathing room after the kick return went bad for the Knights. Now out to the 20.
Just enough running game to set up the play action and the movement off of it. One of the rare times that edge for Auburn defensively weakened.
Otis Anderson, a little guy, not related to the great Miami running back and Pro Bowler from Jacksonville, just a true freshman. He is talented. Mackenzie Milton, can he get the pass game going? Play fake, pressured, and nobody was there. He was trying to hit Snelson coming across. He got caught up in some Auburn defenders.
Yeah, that's a little screen pass. Yep, and Scott Frost continuing to say, hey, they're grabbing my guys on some of those screens, but they can do that. Better job there by Auburn defensively, reading and recognizing what's happened in front of them.
How well has Auburn defended those screens in this
Very
game?
well.
Really well. Second and 10. That one down the sideline, right into the bucket. Gabe Davis, the true freshman, with the catch for a nice gain through the air. That's 23 yards.
Yeah, and I was talking about those outside receivers on go routes. Many times they run out of bounds. There's nowhere to go. You've seen more and more at the NFL level, and it's trickling down to the college level. Just run that concept from the slot. And you give Milton so much margin for error there, and best throw of the game by McKenzie, no doubt.
He looks like a different player here in the second half. We'll see if UCF can take advantage of that. Killins, they motion him and fake it to him. Milton now throws, and it is tipped up and incomplete. A little behind Smith, but I think he should have had that one.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. Milton's so good to his right and his left. Gus Malzahn said we're trying to keep him in that pocket, hard to do. And look at that release. That is Robbie Cano. And just a step behind, and you're right. Usually Traquan makes that play.
Turn the double play. Smith should have had it. Wasn't a perfect throw, but that is the second big drop that UCF has had in this game. Second and 10. Milton designed quarterback run. Auburn read that pretty well. 3 yards. It'll be third and long.
I'm curious here. Auburn's so good at making their adjustments defensively. The best teams in college football in their third down adjustments. They went to a little spy package on the previous third down, making sure that Milton couldn't get loose running the ball. 86 yards on the ground. That is when UCF has been at their best.
Beautiful facility here will make for a great venue for the national championship game in a week. You and I can leave a note for Fowler and Herbstreit in the booth when we're done here. 3rd and 7. Milton scrambling. Is he going to try to run? He throws into coverage. Almost intercepted. 4th down.
I think to do over there, McKenzie's going to pull that one down.
Yeah, I was sure he was going to scramble.
An excellent job there from Trey Matthews. He's the senior. He's the leader. There's really no window whatsoever. Ooh, he just does not. Yep, he does not continue through contact with the ground with that interception. I don't think there's any doubt that ball comes out for Trey Matthews, but just no window there. Just sneak it in, and there was some turf there for McKenzie to run.
Well, they are going to look at it. You can see why, but we had a good look. The ball popped out. He did not complete the catch, survive the ground, whatever ridiculous terminology we're using these days. The catch in all levels of football has just become a mystery, a disaster. It's not fun, but I think this one's pretty clear. He did not complete that interception. He got the foot in.
This is one you want quick.
Yeah, this shouldn't take too long. That is the big video board up at the top of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Okay, so you got it. You got the foot in, but
yeah, there's no question.
That's not an interception.
Pass is confirmed. It's 4th down.
And 4th down. Auburn's defense does come up with the stop, though, and the momentum has totally changed in this game. UCF back on their heels.
You got a fake in yet?
This would be the part of the field. It is 4th and 7, though. Whatever it is, if it's a fake, I don't think it's going to be Loudermilk running it himself. He doesn't look to be totally equipped for that. Fair catch at the 17. Well, the Auburn offense has revved it up. Georgia trying to rev their game up, getting ready for the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Coming up when we are done. We'll be back here to Atlanta right after this.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, brought to you by the all-new Accord from Honda, Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel, AT&T, and Experian. Identity protection has a new identity.
Players and coaches from UCF did a very good thing this week leading into this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, visiting the Scottish Rite Children's Hospital, signing autographs, meeting the kids. A lot of smiles all the way around. Not as many smiles at the moment on the UCF sideline, though, because up by a touchdown at halftime, now down by a touchdown a little more than halfway through the quarter. Little pitch play. That is Cam Martin for a positive gain on 1st down.
Adjustments. He speaks to the coaching chops of Kevin Steele defensively, Gus Malzahn, Chip Lindsey offensively. Out of halftime, try to get a feel for what that opponent is doing. You've seen a little bit of spy, you've seen some change-ups defensively, and a whole lot of commitment to running right at UCF in the 2nd half.
And that speaks well to their coaches. Martin, left side, got drilled. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Rod and Griffin together. Big 3rd down for UCF's defense. Third and a long 6. Stidham with pressure coming. Now trying to scramble. Penalty flag thrown. That's going to be a hold. The pass is incomplete anyway. So I don't think it's going to matter. UCF defender got tackled.
Holding. Offense number 78. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
Doesn't that feel like a very big play in this game?
Huge.
Not much was going right for UCF.
And nice to see if you're UCF, your most dynamic playmaker is Garrod drew that penalty. Mike Hughes back on the field. I think you were right.
Yeah, and Hughes is not going to be.
Oh, it is not Hughes. No, it is not.
Chris Johnson.
It's a step back, but Chris got his opportunity.
Yeah, and it does take away a great playmaker. Auburn shifting the formation. UCF, just in case, trying to match up with everybody. They are not faking. They're going to punt the ball away. He's going to bounce on the turf. Stay inbounds for some extra yardage for Auburn, all the way down to about the 35-yard line. While we have a moment, let's check back in studio with Cassidy.
Thanks, Dave. Let's check in on the Outback Bowl. Michigan and South Carolina. Jake Bentley, 53-yard TD pass to Shi Smith. The Gamecocks score 20 straight points to take their first lead of the game, up 23-19 in the fourth over on ESPN2. Dave, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Wow, that one totally turns around. What a win that would be for Will Muschamp in South Carolina in the SEC. SEC happy that the Pac-12 has struggled the way that it has, because it hadn't been a great bowl season so far for them either. And Auburn has come to life in this second half. Back on defense, Mackenzie Milton. And the UCF offense on the field. In this direction with the speed. Played well by Auburn, just a couple yards for Killings.
Just not felt that speed. I mean, you just haven't. You watch the tape against South Florida or against Memphis, you see the explosive plays, the game-changing plays against a group. And Scott Frost knows it. It's at every level. It's the big fellas in defense. You see the safeties flying all over the field. Linebackers can run. It is the overall team speed that can be overwhelming.
2nd and 8. Milton hands it off. Otis Anderson tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Marlon Davidson from the other side. 3rd and long for the Knights.
And Kevin Steele, this is a masterful job against the #1 scoring offense in America. 49 points a game for UCF coming into this game. Buttoned up here in the second half.
Davidson standing up as a pass rusher. And Milton's been a lot more accurate in the second half throwing the ball. I figure he's going to need to throw it here. Pressured immediately, got rid of it, and it is caught in traffic by the tight end, Jordan Akins. That's a big play. Milton had a defender right in his grill, and he put it on the money.
Milton had in his face. Jordan Akins had Trey Matthews right in his hip pocket here. You see the little mesh route there. Trying to create just enough space, just enough window to fit that ball in between the two senior safeties.
26 yards. Anderson gets the carry, tripped up after a yard or two.
It's a cool little wrinkle right there. And those are just the littlest of details that Nebraska's awfully fired up to bring Scott Frost into their program. Just that little nuance, right? And that release to just create enough separation.
Not all those numbers, by the way, on Milton passing downfield. He has not had a ton of help. This one he checks down to Anderson, who got a foot inbounds for some positive yardage. That feels big. 3rd down and about 4 coming up. He looks like much more like the player who was one of the best players in college football all season long. Did not have a great first half throwing the ball. Anderson in motion. Milton steps up with time. Now throws back across. Complete inside the 15. Another UCF first down. Traquan Smith didn't drop this one.
You usually tell quarterbacks don't throw it back across your body. That's rule number 1. But when you kick the ball out this quick, look at this. And he just, once again, is just slinging it. There's no windup. There's no extended. He just has such tremendous body control and balance, and he just flicks that once again between two defenders.
18 yards, play fake, screen with blockers. Anderson pushing, touchdown. What a drive.
Said earlier, Auburn had played that screen game so well, and they have the first, second, third, fourth time, but you keep coming back to it, and especially when you create some of that momentum and that ball sneaks across the line, and you get Auburn for one of the rare occasions today defensively really on their heels, and you can see the hands on hips. best complete drive of the mix and the run and the pass and the screen and the shot down the field for the Knights on the afternoon.
Extra point coming to tie the game, and UCF does. It's good. They got the 3 and out on defense, got the ball back, and marched down the field. 65 yards in 7 plays. And punch it in to tie the game 2020.
Well, you know what that picture is? That is a picture of a 12-0 team.
Yeah.
Gus Malzahn saying one of the things that UCF has done is win the close games. Gus Malzahn and Mike Norvell, pretty good buddies through the years. Mike Norvell of Memphis, and obviously lost a heartbreaker in double overtime to this UCF team. And that's what he said, Gus. These guys are 2-0 in one-possession games. They find unique ways to win. And Auburn, in those one possessions, 0-2.
It's just not common. Not at this level, not at any level. Undefeated FBS teams since 2008. The Utahs, the Boise States, the underdog type programs, at least at that point, that's what UCF is trying to do. Finish off a very rare perfect season. This is a special team. Returnable kickoff. Benagini, who had a long one to start the second half, gets hammered outside the 30. Another good return, though. Good field position for Auburn. The College Football Playoff National Championship weekend in Atlanta. Going to be the place to be, whether your favorite team is in it or not. Just bring a hat and some gloves. All the events and festivities planned for Championship Campus at collegefootballplayoff.com. You don't want to miss out on what will be a fun week and weekend. They are getting ready. Hustle, bustle. Yesterday, walking around town. Today, getting ready for this game. Yep. The preparations are underway.
Great place to have it. All the hotels, everything walking distance. Quite festive with New Year's last night.
Indeed it was. A hadn't seen pitch play. And just no shock at all. Who's in the backfield? Shaquem Griffin read that one all the way.
You know what? Chandler Cox got him a couple times, running right at him. That time they tried to trick him. And Chandler can't get to him. Here's the speed, the awareness, the quickness. Watch 27. Runs right around that block. Hitting laterally against 1-8. Not real good.
No. That's one of the best blocking players in the country, and Griffin made him whiff. 10th tackle behind the line of scrimmage for UCF's defense in this game. Griffin having a huge afternoon. Handoff straight ahead, just nothing. Nowhere to go.
I'll tell you what, Auburn's true to what they said to us. They did not want Carrion to have more than 20 touches going in the fourth quarter. And he's right at 20 carries, and he sat on the sidelines for that last 3 and out. You watch those first couple plays. They wanted to protect him and make sure he had a full tank of gas for the fourth quarter. But I don't know if they wanted to see the momentum turn quite the way it has here in the last 5 minutes.
They missed him, didn't they? He only missed a few snaps. Final play of the quarter, likely. 3rd and 13. Stidham pressured immediately. Stidham goes down. Pittman first, and then Shaquem Griffin.
Spies come in all shapes and sizes. They can sometimes be linebackers, sometimes safeties. I don't even know what you characterize Shaquem Griffin. He's part linebackers, part safety, part ends, but he's got his eyes on one guy. And when he comes his way, he knows just how to finish.
Fourth quarter, and we should have a great one coming up. Man, do we have a good one here. This is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on New Year's Day 2018 from Atlanta. UCF, the upstart underdog story in the New Year's Six, and going toe-to-toe with Auburn. 20-20 as we start the fourth quarter. Dave Fleming, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams. Punt pressured from the Tigers. Hughes back to return, and he'll go out of bounds. It'll be good field position for the UCF offense. Our Capital One Impact Performance, and no doubt who this is.
Kind of like coaches will put game plans together, and you never know how it's going to work out. We had a plan to highlight Shaquem Griffin because he's such a marvelous story, and he's more than paid off this plan. He's been so dominant, and you just marvel. I was watching it practice on whatever day that was, Saturday, just watching him work in the multitude of talents that he brings as a rusher in coverage. And just the Energizer Bunny. And it infuses everybody around him and infects everybody around him. And how much fun and love he has playing this game.
Just a tremendous player leading the way. Milton, tremendous young quarterback for UCF. That was a tough 1 yard for the Knights. Let's go down to the field and Allison Williams.
Brock was talking about what he saw with Shaquem at that UCF practice. What stood out to me was just the personality of this team, and I am seeing it again on the sidelines. They are so demonstrative with their emotions. They really feed off of every big play, every score. When I say they erupt on the sidelines, I mean it. People jump out of their seats, and you can tell they feed off of it. They have the momentum right now. The message was, we have the momentum. Go take the game.
Final quarter for the greatest team in the history of this program. Trying to cap it off with a perfect season into Auburn territory. Traquan Smith, who looks ticked off that he dropped a big pass a few minutes ago. First down UCF.
And you could just sense it and feel it with Milton. And Gus Malzahn knows it. And I am sure Kevin Steele, sitting up in the press box, can see it. This quarterback was shook in that first half. Was not playing with the kind of flair and confidence. And right now he is winging it.
Killins in motion. They fake it to him. Milton, he wants to go downfield. He does complete another first down. The freshman Gabe Davis. Milton popped up, but that wasn't easy. He took a lick.
He did, and he threw his guys open. That's another way. It's not just the angles. Watch him move here, and he's going to throw it right off the ear of this linebacker. Right past Trey Williams. He's not making that throw in the first half. And oh, by the way, there's a 250-pound TD Moultrie that's going to try to knock me out.
Some movement up front.
Look at
the offensive lineman got knocked backwards. Derek Brown, I think the one who committed the penalty. We'll see.
Offside. Defense. Number 5. Contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Update from Orlando. Here's Cassidy.
Thanks, Davis. Checking on the Citrus Bowl. Notre Dame, LSU, Danny Etling to Darius Geis, 20-yard score for the first TD of the game. The Tigers are up 7-6. This one over on ABC. Dave, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Fun matchup on paper, but not a lot of offense in that one. UCF on the move. Milton, little hesitation. And he gets close on 1st and 5 after the penalty. Stopped about a yard or so short. What a game of swings this has been. UCF controlling largely not the possession of the ball, but the momentum of the game in the first half. Then Auburn blitzed them at the start of the third quarter. Now UCF back in a great rhythm on both sides.
That's your best receiver to the bottom of the field in a possible one-on-one.
Milton looking his way. Milton throws his way. Contested ball. Catch made. He held on and stayed in bounds. You saw it. He saw it.
So much field, a tight split, and no Carlton Davis. And does he have control?
Ooh, I don't know.
The ball is moving an awful lot.
If it stands 16 yards, they're going to stop it. Knights tried to get the snap off. Tremendous effort. I don't know, though.
I love the call on 2nd and 1. I love the timeout for the end of the first half, 50 seconds to go. I love this call of getting your best receiver involved. And you see Javaris Davis trying to rip as best he can. I think, no, that's going to be incomplete. There's too much movement, I think, with the ground there. And you could tell the two judges there, the back judge, the side judge, were looking at each other, trying to figure out whether there was enough control. I think like Trey Matthews, the key one was the other shot when he's going to the ground. That ball is just moving with the ground.
Yeah, and that one I don't believe is going to hold up. I like the point you made, though. You watch this game and Scott Frost and how he has managed the clock, managed the game, and you know why Nebraska wanted him so bad. This guy can coach. And I think there were lots of questions when he came to UCF a couple years ago. How much of his success at Oregon was Chip Kelly's success? How much of that was on him? He has, in a very short time, proven himself to be a heck of a head coach.
I think one of the more underrated aspects, not talked about nearly enough, is the fact that he played defense in the NFL for 7 years.
Yeah, I agree with you.
A national champion quarterback, that's great, but he doesn't just see the game from that perspective. And in fact, you ask him who his biggest influences are, it's Chip Kelly offensively. There's just simply no question about that. But it's Mike Tomlin defensively.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin.
Who convinced him to coach.
After reviewing the play, the receiver is going to the ground in the process of making a catch. When he hits the ground, he loses control and the ball hits the ground. It's an incomplete pass. Ball will be returned to the previous spot. It's 3rd down. Please set the game clock to 12 minutes, 46 seconds.
You've coordinated offense, you've coached defense. That's the right call, by the way. That's exactly right. I love the shot on 2nd and 1. Now you got to go get it done on 3rd and 1. But you're able to coach your coaches, and I think see all facets of the game. Huge advantage to have that background.
And this becomes a big play here. UCF against Auburn and their big boys. Maybe not totally equipped for these short yardage situations. They will empty the backfield. Maybe Milton will keep it. 3rd and 1. He will. Milton. 1st down. And all the way inside the 10.
See him put his head down. That's quarterback power. They have run that with success today. That's now a season high in rushing yards for Milton. But as he's going through the line, he just puts his shoulders and his head down, and he was not going to be denied.
1st and goal. Trying to take the lead, trying to get in the end zone. Davis, the freshman, in motion. They give it to Killens, and he is swarmed. Maybe got a yard and a half.
Watching a little of their red zone practice, this area of the field on Thursday. Try to get into some of their rub routes. Got a couple downs here. If you're going to get man-to-man coverage, whether it was in bunch, lots of design and lots of scheme to try to free a player up.
Tie game, 4th quarter, 2nd and goal. A fake reverse. Milton, almost like a basketball player. Touchdown! What a play! He put a move on and then delivered the pass. Snelson with the touchdown grab. UCF back ahead. That was tremendous.
So nifty.
It's just not even the other great mobile quarterbacks in the country don't quite look like that.
Well, the guy that follows in the Rose Bowl,
he's about the
Heisman
one.
Trophy winner. And this kid was number 8 in that Heisman Trophy race. And most of America probably didn't know his name until this afternoon.
Extra point is good.
He is just a gamer. We all know these guys. We played against him on the playground in any sport. They just get it done. He's going to make the first man miss. It's all conference DeAnd Holland, and he's going to throw it and sing it right from his ear. His next coach, Josh Heupel. Wow.
Wow.
I think he utters perfectly everything that we all feel. The thing is, Frost has seen it all season long.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. When Mother Nature blitzes, you'll need the very best traction on and off the field. You'll need weather ready. Goodyear, more driven. That shot, as beautiful as it is, does not capture the excitement right now inside this stadium. It is rocking. The Knights of UCF back ahead 27-20. Now Auburn's going to need an answer, and maybe it can come from the kick return team. That has been a spark for them. Out to the 25. This was during the timeout. Maybe they needed to be resuscitated a few minutes ago. Auburn had taken control of this game. They're back. That's pretty good.
Allison nailed that. And you're right. You watch them practice same way. It's just high octane. It's the fun and it's the love of playing football. This was an 0-12 team 2 years ago. 0-12.
And that is why their coaching staff ran themselves into the ground to work 2 jobs to be with this group one last time. Handoff, Johnson just has not had a ton of room in this game. He's been productive, not explosive, not in the way that we usually see.
Yeah, so patient. But sometimes when you're facing little quick guys, like these linebackers are for UCF, sometimes that patience isn't always the best method.
Titus Davis, we saw him, number 10. He's played a good game. Stidham on the move. Stidham being chased, and he'll have to throw it away. Time was running out on the sophomore. Baylor transfer. 3rd down. It's about to get loud again in here. They just cannot wait for their coach. Couldn't wait till next year. Had to see him this year. Play clock winding down. Here comes some pressure. Stidham throws, and it is incomplete. Into coverage. Slayton upset that there was some contact. Griffin a little slow to get up, but he's the guy who was in the backfield.
That's yet another 3 and out.
The last 9 plays, Brock, for Auburn, 9 total -5 yards. They're going backwards. Just when it looked like their offense had found the rhythm and taken over this game. Another punt coming and pressured. Hughes will signal fair catch and make that fair catch at the 33-34 yard line. 10:41 away from a perfect season for UCF. Can they finish the job? We'll be back. Back in Atlanta, time for our all-state, all-hands-in play, or in this case, plays for the UCF quarterback.
UCF is here because of Mackenzie Milton. And plays just like this. That was a 3rd down pass between 2 guys to the only spot back across his body that he could fit it in. How about throwing guys open? Nobody else on the field could see this happening but the quarterback, and he puts it just in the right spot to the true freshman. And tell me that doesn't look like Baker Mayfield. Try to tell me that does not look like the guy you're going to watch in the Rose Bowl here in a couple hours, as he just flings that thing with supreme confidence. 3 of 17 in that first half. Just could not get into any rhythm. And in the second half, you see Deshaun Watson take games over. Right? Last year won national championship because it just does not matter when a QB like this gets hot. There's just very little containing and stopping him.
And right now, Auburn may be feeling like if we don't stop them here, they are in huge trouble. 10:41 to go. UCF trying to stay undefeated, complete the perfect season. Milton pressured. Milton tried to spin away. He'll go down. That's Jeff Holland, the great pass rusher for Auburn.
Just a little greedy there, because when you got a 158-pound running back on Jeff Holland, the ball's just got to come out. Yeah. Either you got to escape or the ball has just got to come out. That is the SEC's best pass rusher with 9 sacks, now adding a 10th and the first for the Auburn Tigers today. That's not a matchup that you can expect your little running back to win.
I didn't expect that. 10 minutes to go in the game. Auburn gets their first sack. Milton pressured again, steps up. That quickness, there he goes. Out into the open, first down and more into Auburn territory.
Kevin Steele knows it. D coordinator, longtime coordinator, he just knows it. Now, there's no spy on that play, and you can see everything opens up in front of Milton. That's an easy one to tuck and go.
23 yards, handoff, and a body slam. Oh, my goodness. Thank goodness Adrian Killens just got up. That was vicious.
That's 325 of Derek Brown.
Oh, my Lord. Yikes.
Yeah.
The UCF fans are unhappy, but unhappy about what?
The DDT.
2nd and 10. Milton, pressure picked up, down the field, and caught! Perfect pass! Traquan Smith. I don't think there's any doubt about this one.
That's good coverage. I mean, just a perfect pass is going to beat elite coverage, and Gus knows it. Like, are you kidding me? I've got Daniel Thomas. I got a bracket on their best player. 2-on-1. And the one ball goes to the only spot as Gus is watching on the big screen and can only shake his head.
It's almost the same reaction as the next UCF head coach, Josh Heupel, after the last touchdown. Wow. How did he do that? 1st and 10. Handoff, Killens, and that one hand for big number 95, Dontavius Russell, slowed him down.
I mean, typically you come off this throw, you've got underneath coverage in the corner right over the top of it. And that's a play there that 13's got to go up and get. Javaris Davis cannot wait. I mean, you're to the point now in the 4th quarter, you just can't sit and watch anybody make plays around you. No Carlton Davis. That is why Javaris is on the field. Carlton sent home sick. That's one that you can't stand and just watch the other stars perform. You got to be a difference maker.
2nd and 9. Milton toward the end zone, incomplete. Smith couldn't quite get turned around. Might not have mattered. 3rd down.
It'll be a little more fun calling plays when the QB makes anything work.
Yes, it's a good position to be in. And Scott Frost told us he saw it in Mackenzie Milton when he first saw him at one of those tryout camps, just an audition for a high school kid who wasn't recruited by anybody else. Play clock down to 7. It's the Red Routes. And that one picked up off the turf, a lucky bounce. Anderson inside the 10, stopped short of the 1st down. That could have been a disaster for UCF. Auburn holds the Knights to what presumably would be a field goal try. You got to take the points.
There's been no gimmies here in the Orange Bowl. You called that game on the radio, a big miss by Begley in the 4th quarter, the USC game. Right, to try to cut the 2 scores.
Yep.
They missed a gimme field goal.
Cannot take these for granted. Well, this one, with heading towards 7 minutes to go, would make it a 2-score lead for UCF. Matthew Wright, 2 for 2. He's looked solid. One of the most pressure kicks of his life, and it's blocked. The Auburn special teams. Coach Malzahn knows how big that was. Huge.
3 New Year's 6 bowls, 3 awfully large field goals in 4th quarters have come into play, maybe foreshadowing something to come in the Rose and Sugar later.
Was it Derek Brown? He had the body slam a few plays earlier. He gets the big left hand up there and swats that one away. Auburn is going to get the ball back and only down by a touchdown. That was huge.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season. Order now. Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
The basically next door, the College Football Hall of Fame. We are here in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, all the great history of the programs that get the College Football Playoff. 2018 started when we are done. After us, the Rose Bowl from Pasadena, then the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. First down, Auburn. Stidham wants to go downfield. He's going deep to Slayton, who adjusts, and it's knocked away, but here comes the flag. Penalty thrown to Vel Clark. Is going to be flagged, and he knows it.
Yeah, he does know it. And they're trying to a little double move there off their quick screen, a little bubble screen, and Clark hesitated for just a moment.
Pass interference, defense number 14, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's all you need is just a little hesitation, and then you're just lost in space. And that's a bad feeling as a DB. When those hands go up to make the catch and you can't find the ball, you can't locate it, you're playing from behind. He knew it, and Stidham loved it.
In college, it's better to just commit the penalty when it's that far downfield.
Yes.
15 yards as opposed to 40 or whatever it was going to be if the pass was completed. That's the first Auburn first down in 16 minutes of game action. Under 7 to go with the ball, but down by a touchdown to undefeated UCF. What a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl we've had. Ryan Davis, the open field tackle. He's down. Tried to stay on his feet. Kyle Gibson from his safety spot. Good play.
How good has that tackling been?
Really good.
A couple times Carry On had a full steam ahead and was able to break some tackles, but out on that perimeter, the tackling of the corners and the safeties in space, excellent by UCF.
3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield. No Carry On Johnson alongside. Now he's going to shuffle next to Stidham. And a flag thrown. Yeah, they moved early, I think.
That's going to be the wide receiver flinching, trying to block, or no, they're going to call it against UCF.
Oh, interesting.
Offside, defense, number 20 made contact to the offensive player before the ball was snapped. In the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, it's second down.
Let's send it down to Allison.
Well, even though Auburn's offense has stalled after such a fast start to the half, much like we saw in that first half, no panic, and a lot of that is from Stidham. He just keeps telling his guys, stay focused, we've got time, just keep your focus, keep your cool, and take it one play at a time.
Stidham in the pocket, throws, it's intercepted, and it's going the other way. Burkett, touchdown. Must make the whole month feel worth it for Scott Frost, his staff, his players. Not over yet, but a big step towards perfection. Shaquan Burkett, who has a wife and 2 kids at home, had to decide whether he wanted to come back for his senior year at UCF.
We show Mackenzie Milton on the other side, throwing guys open, and this time, unfortunately, for Jarrett Stidham, the biggest mistake of the game. He never finds the eyes of Burkett. They were locked in on him for the critical pick 6.
45 yards. What a moment for UCF and Scott Frost on their way.
Cassidy Hubbard with your studio update to the Citrus Bowl. After a Notre Dame touchdown, Irish go for 2. Ian Book to Josh Adams, originally called down and then overturned after review. It's now tied at 14 with 5 to play over on ABC. Dave Brock Allison, back to you.
Right, Cassidy, thank you for the update. This stadium rocking. UCF. Remember, they were down 20-13. They have stormed back. And the pick 6 from the senior Shaquan Burkett, who grew up like 50 miles from the campus of Auburn in Montgomery, Alabama. His 2nd career interception. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this one's the biggest 34-20 UCF. Auburn in big trouble with under 6 to go. They could use a big return. They don't get it. There is a penalty flag on the return. Auburn's already in trouble. This one may make it even tougher.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 33. 10-yard penalty from the end of the return. First down, Auburn.
Our Capital One pivotal performance, Brock.
Eye discipline right here, and you got to have it as a QB. Yeah, you want to throw into this space on a little slant route, but Burkett's watching the quarterback the entire way, and there's a part of him that is just hoping so badly that you pull that trigger. There's no influence, there's no play fake, there's no threat of a run game that's going to hold him in that spot. All he is going to do in that zone coverage is float and read the eyes of the quarterback and have the biggest payday yet of his career.
This throw short to Hastings, and Auburn, they still have their timeouts. They still have almost 6 minutes on the clock. It's not over, but they need to be fast. Griffin pressures. Stidham stepped up. He finds Hastings over the middle. He trips across midfield, but a big gain. Here come the Tigers, not going away.
No, and Stidham's not going to go away. He has got way too much courage, way too much poise. He too has an amazing story of perseverance to be here. There's no surprise he's responding.
That one was 30 yards. Pressure picked up. He's got Hastings open again. A big hit, and a penalty flag comes in. That one may be targeting. Kyle Gibson this time. They picked up the targeting earlier in this second half, but they had called on the other safety, Trey Neal. That one I think has a much better chance of standing.
Yes. I don't think there's any doubt about that one. That is a defenseless receiver.
Foul, targeting defense number 25. The play is under review.
That's a defenseless receiver that is going down. He is going to be down. And I know that Gibson's frustrated and thinking that ball's rattling around. I got to try to knock it out. But the last time the shoulder of Trey Neal hit the nameplate of Hastings, this time forcible contact right to the head and the neck area.
Yep. I don't think there's much doubt about this one. So that would be it for Kyle Gibson. It would also move Auburn even closer to the goal line. This is happening fast for the Tigers, and it is giving them a chance here. This game is far from over. They're taking a look upstairs. Ruling on the field of targeting. Tonight on SportsCenter with SVP after the All-State Sugar Bowl. Comprehensive coverage of the playoff semifinals. You can hear that in the background that the targeting was confirmed. So all kinds of stuff to talk about with SVP, Fowler, Herbstreit, Tebow, many others. 2017's worst beats. All kinds of stuff tonight following the All-State Sugar Bowl. Targeting upheld. Kyle Gibson is gone from this game, and Auburn is knocking on the door.
Yeah, and I don't think that is malicious, but it is in that moment there you do have to make that decision, and you just cannot go to the head or neck area of a defenseless player.
In the last 30 seconds, Will Hastings, 3 catches, 56 yards. He and Stidham have taken Auburn down the field. Not quite first and goal.
They may go right at him with a backup now in the game, and Richie Grant.
Now timeout. And I think UCF wanted to get organized on defense. So that is a timeout for UCF. By the way, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl acknowledging to the crowd at halftime a number of past Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year award winners. Very prestigious award. They also announced this year's winner of the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year. And it's David Shaw, the head coach of Stanford. It's an award not just for on-field performance, but also community service, academic performance. David Shaw and his Stanford team recognized. Congratulations to him and all those great coaches on hand for this Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta. What a game we've had. Not over yet.
Yeah, former UCF coach George O'Leary was down there on the field. And remember, yeah, it was an 0-12 season and a really difficult season. Two took this program to a January 1 bowl. the victory against Baylor years ago, and Scott Frost 5 minutes away from doing so, but he knows what he's up against. When you get to this stage and play this opponent, who's maybe watching the big screen from the bench, but the guys out on the field playing and balling, they're here because they've got tremendous resolve.
If Auburn punches this in, there is a lot of time left in this game. Stidham, a little delay. He's going to run it. Stidham, maybe not quite as dynamic as McKenzie Milton, but he can move. Clock winds. That's a factor. Second down.
He gets out gingerly.
He does. He will hand it off. Carry on Johnson. It goes down. That's big. Every second that ticks away is not in favor of the Auburn Tigers. What a performance by him. Stidham's hurting a little bit. Third down. They're down 2 touchdowns, so it's 4-down territory. Field goal doesn't do Auburn any good.
And they tried this quick snap a multitude of times today.
Stidham went down to a knee. He's hurting a little bit. Under center. Fake and a little give on the end around. Touchdown. Eli Stove. Not over yet.
Well-designed wrinkle here. You're expecting UCF to over pursue, and that's exactly what number 10, Titus Davis. You see the eyes get lost there. He's chasing that play down. It's been a hyper-aggressive group, and that time he used that aggressiveness against them. His containment is lost. Gus Malzahn right back in it.
89 yards, maybe most importantly, 1:44. That's all it took. Down the field in a hurry. Great response by Auburn after the pick 6. Looked like it might have put the game away. Don't forget, we are not quite done here yet in Atlanta. College football playoff semifinals after we are finished here in Atlanta. Number 2 Oklahoma, number 3 Georgia. They've never met. That seems hard to believe. Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual from beautiful Pasadena. Then Clemson, Alabama, All-State Sugar Bowl. Baker Mayfield and company out on the field getting ready to go. Heisman winner. He won it all this year. Had a spectacular year. Can he lead the Sooners to a national championship?
So much charisma. Brian, we're seeing that today with McKenzie Milton. And I understand when he walked into the Rose Bowl, we showed that earlier, carrying that big sign that said Pretenders. That was our very own Lee Corso that had made that comment about Oklahoma. So Baker's going to use whatever he can as a form of motivation. Even the old former coach, Lee Corso.
And that it's sort of emblematic of Mayfield because you figure it's the semifinal game. It's the Rose Bowl. It's Oklahoma, Georgia. You don't need anything extra, but he'll always take it. That's just who he is. Shorter kickoff here. Taken at the 10 by Hughes. Interesting strategy. Hesitation. Hughes with the speed across the 35. Still going outside the 40 into the 45 almost. I don't know about that kickoff from Auburn. UCF takes advantage, and they'll have good field position, leading by a touchdown. Jake Fleming, Brock Heward here from Atlanta. What a great time we've had at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Great hospitality. One of the very best bowl games this bowl season. Has a chance to be, with 4+ minutes to go, one of the most memorable days in recent college football history for the little guy, for the underdog program.
I don't think you and I have smiled so much doing a game together. I mean, this game has been so full of storylines that have played out. Just tremendous play, and you see teams responding, which what you're going to get on January 1, and I'm going to guess we'll see in the Rose and the Sugar later today.
McKenzie Milton, handoff, straight ahead running for Anderson. Auburn's got the timeouts. Gus Malzahn electing not to use one here. Under 4 minutes to go. Even one first down for UCF puts enormous pressure on Auburn. They aren't equipped necessarily to take a lot of time. We'll see if they want to let that play go. The clock is their friend. You don't want to snap it too quickly, do you?
Oh, no, they'll take it down, and you see just that from Mackenzie Milton.
Be patient. Sometimes it's hard for these up-tempo teams to do. Milton, play fake. Gonna throw across the middle. Catch! First down and more. Down to the 25, Jordan Akins. That's pretty gutsy. You're not just handing it off to wind clock off. They're going for it.
Not really. I understand. You're right. In conventional football means you're right, but they're not. They score 49 a game. Yeah. They go for it.
30 yards, and now Auburn, they're going to have to start using those timeouts.
I mean, that sticks to your DNA. And as a player, that's all you've known all season. We're not a conservative, run it between the tackles 3 times and punt. Man, we are a freewheeling team led by our quarterback that at times throws it right from his hip and is a difference maker in this second half.
Get it down to 4. Snap the ball. Anderson running left side, and Gus Malzahn right there to call the quick timeout after the gain of 2. Perfect seasons are hard to come by. I don't care if you're an American Conference team, an SEC Conference team. They are hard to come by. And UCF is 237 away from 13-0. Let's send it down on the field to Allison.
Dave, the improvement we've seen from the first half to second half from Mackenzie Milton, kind of a microcosm of his improvement from last year to this year. He more than doubled his QBR. One of the people that deserves credit for that is his mom, Teresa. You see, she relocated from Hawaii to Orlando for the football season to give support to her son. And Mackenzie said that last year it was tough being on a big campus so far away from home, but having mom close this year, the home cooked meals, all of her support really helped him on the field.
First UCF athlete from the islands, maybe not the last. Just as he watched Marcus Mariota and fell in love with Oregon and Scott Frost, and really that was the connection ultimately to get him to Orlando. There's some youngsters. It's a little early in Hawaii, but I bet there's some youngsters watching going, really, this is one of ours putting on a show like this.
And Scott, way back when he first scouted Mackenzie Milton, he saw him and said, that's my guy. That's the guy I want to be my quarterback in my first head coaching job. A little pitch play to Anderson. 20, 15, 10. Here comes a penalty flag. That one came in late. You got to hold your breath and see what the penalty is. Well, that one maybe wouldn't have put the game away, but if it stands, that's huge. This Big 12 crew talking it over.
What a nifty little play to still have in your tool bag.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, offense. Wow. Number 88 contacted the player low from the side. 15-yard penalty. It's second down.
That is big, because not just negating the game, but 15 yards backwards, maybe out of field goal range or close to it.
I guess the only positive is that's at the 10-yard line, so a spot foul from the 10 on the big play down the field.
Yeah, that one. And the UCF fans are watching it up on the big board. Yeah, you hear the reaction. Scott Frost has not been happy all game long with this officiating crew.
Yeah, that felt in this moment, to me, it's got to be fairly egregious. It's just got to stand out. Let these players in the final 2:33 decide it.
Well, that one helps Stidham and Auburn big time. Second down and around 11. You're right, the spot foul aspect of that did mitigate a little bit of the damage, a little bit. Clock stopped. Play clock. Milton, another pitch play. Anderson, can he get this one upfield? No, not in the same way. He got a couple yards, another quick timeout for Auburn. Gutsy for calling the pass play a few plays ago. You got third down coming up here.
I'll tell you what was dangerous right here. They run that option play now to the other side. And Mackenzie Milton, he wants this game. Watch him make the pitch here. And then if you called this earlier, watch him go.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I guess he just whiffs. But that sure looked like that side judge did a good job there, because to the eye, the big DN there, Davidson, that had the look of the kind of penalty, but also has a look of a player that's giving you absolutely everything.
What a game for Mackenzie Milton, who could not have been more off in the first half throwing the ball. He rushed it very effectively before halftime. That was the reason UCF led at halftime by a touchdown, but he was way off the mark and has dialed it in and played a tremendous second half.
Again, as we foreshadowed to my favorite day in all of sports, you saw Trace McSorley. He took the game over at the Fiesta Bowl. He just could not be denied on third downs, 13 for 13 passing and everything else. You watch Alex Hornibrook take a game over on third downs and beat Miami, play his career game. You're watching Milton put this game on his shoulders. More than likely, in the games that follow us, whether it's Baker, whether it's Jalen Hurts, could very well be Jake Fromm, the true freshman, the same story with Kelly Bryant. Who takes it over as Milton has in the second half.
3rd and 9. First down would almost do it because of the lack of timeouts. Auburn only has one left. Milton, handoff. Anderson straight ahead. Auburn will use its final timeout. They get to the 20. Scott Frost is going to lean on that kicking game. Remember, they had a short field goal try just a few minutes ago. And the reason that this is still hanging in the balance is what Auburn special teams did last time they tried.
It was big old Derek Brown right in the middle of that line. You have to stop that initial surge. He got his big paw up. And there's been no gimme the New Year's Six season when it comes to these field goals. And you said it before Matthew's last kick. He's made a bunch of them in his career, but none with quite the pressure of that last kick, and that was 6 minutes ago. With 2:23 and Auburn now out of timeouts, make it real difficult.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this is like the table setter for what's still to come today. Pasadena, because you imagine the pressure on this kick, on this kid, the emotions on this sideline. We still have the 2 semifinal games to play. This one is no gimme from the left hash. And it's about 37 yards for Matthew Wright. Snap, hold, kick is no good. He missed it left. And Auburn still got a shot. Plenty of time, 2:18. The 2 missed field goals, 1 blocked, 1 just out now missed. By that much, not much. Oh. There have not been many times where you or I have seen this guy with as much emotion as he's shown today. He is into this game, Gus Malzahn. Now UCF is going to lead on Shaquem Griffin and that defense.
Where's Will Hastings? He was the difference maker on the previous 2-minute drill.
Auburn's got to go 79 yards. They got to get in the end zone. Hastings is out on the right side. There he is. Stidham looking the other direction, now flushed, and Stidham will just fling it away. The hit as he released it from Griffin. No flag. He put a lick on Jared Stidham.
Man, does he accelerate. His twin brother is a DB for the Seahawks. A tremendous rookie year. Watch A to B.
Somebody at the next level find a spot for that guy.
I'm surprised Stidham went away from Hastings. He's his trusty guy against zone coverage. These 2-minute drills.
And remember, Kyle Gibson, starting safety, good player for UCF, out because of targeting. Stidham looking middle, throws short, incomplete. Trying to hit Kerryon Johnson. He took another hit. Oh. Rod. Senior D lineman. Ouch.
Yeah, and that one stings 2 ways, not only to the chest, but as you get bobblehead there and you hit the back legs of your offensive left tackle. Huge third down.
No timeouts left for Auburn. They got to do it here on this drive.
They stack the receivers. Now he brings them in. Hastings on the backup.
Play clock down to 5. Stidham steps up. Now going to try to run. And he is chased down. Griffin again. One play away for UCF. One play away from a perfect season. Fourth and 8. Does he have one more in him? Stidham steps up. It is caught by Hastings. And that's enough for the first down out to the 35. Auburn still breathing.
Tried the two previous snaps to get it to him. That time they finally do when they absolutely have to have it.
Clock rolling, 1:20 to go. Stidham throws short to Hastings again, and he turns it upfield. Hastings to midfield. Will Hastings has become the star in the fourth quarter for Auburn.
Well, he is a zone beater. If you're going to play zone, he's going to find the soft spots.
Stidham going deep. Slayton out there, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. He tried to adjust to the ball and could not quite get there. I thought he had a chance.
These guys are gassed.
Everybody is.
Physically, emotionally. Now, I like the hand fight. Another play. Both guys pushing back and forth a little bit. Do not define the outcome of this with a call.
Antoine Collier, who might be playing a true freshman because of the targeting ejection of Kyle Gibson. Good coverage. Second down, 1:04 to go. Auburn across midfield. They need to get to the end zone now. A timeout. Scott Frost was waiting, and he calls a timeout. He's got one left. All right, so while we have a minute with all the drama here, let's check in with Cassidy back in studio.
Thanks, David. Back to Orlando. Quite an ending at the Citrus Bowl. Ian Book to Miles Boykin. Take a look at this grab. 55-yard touchdown. Second time that Book had made a touchdown. This one would give the Irish a 21-17 win. Dave, Brock, Allison, back to you.
Wow. That's a pretty big play for the Irish.
I think January 1st starting off pretty good in 2018.
I would say. Well, the kid who has been not just an inspirational story for us, but for everyone around this sport. And that kid, a walk-on at Auburn with all the talent, all the NFL prospects, all the huge five-star recruits. A guy who got a spot on this roster by walking on as a kicker, has 6 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown.
I'll tell you what that timeout did, is it let him catch his breath. He was gassed coming to the sidelines, as you can see, trying to just get right. He's back on the field.
Career game for him at Auburn. Mackenzie Milton can only watch. The field goal miss has given Auburn a chance. Stidham looking for Johnson, throws in his direction. The catch, the turn upfield, Johnson out of bounds. Short of the first down. That will stop the clock at about the 41. 58 seconds to go. Third and 4. Griffin chasing, couldn't get him. Stidham running. He'll get the first down. Upended inside the 35. Hops up quickly. Clock stops to set the chains on the first down.
These are precious seconds.
Now it rolls again. Down to 45. Stidham will throw it away. I think if there's no penalty thrown, that's a good no call. That didn't look to be egregious. That was a coach making sure that Brandon Moore, freshman, didn't make a mistake after maybe he got away with one. Second down.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, that could have been flagged. I didn't think it was real violent, but that could have been a penalty. Hastings comes in motion on 2nd and 10 with 40 seconds to go. Stidham throws middle, and he's got a completion inside the 25. Nate Craig Myers. 33 seconds on the clock. An offensive lineman for Auburn is down. Back near the original line of scrimmage. Is that the center? I think it's Casey Dunn. And he is in some pain. Clock stopped for a first down, so you get no runoff with the offensive player injured. 34-27 UCF. One short field goal blocked, one relatively short field goal missed in this fourth quarter. Otherwise, Auburn would not have a chance, but they do have a chance. What a start to New Year's Day. There's so much more to come. Out in Pasadena, Nick Chubb and the Georgia Bulldogs. So many folks in this city, in this state. This is the biggest game for this program in decades. Georgia playing in the Rose Bowl for the first time in not quite 100 years, but a long, long time. Semifinal number 1, Oklahoma, Georgia. You have some thoughts on?
Well, the challenge there is a true freshman who has been phenomenal, but they've been able to manage the game. And they're going to have to do that today. Because if you just give the Mackenzie Miltons and the Baker Mayfields the ball and the opportunities too many times, they find a way on these days after a month layoff more often than not to get it going.
Well, Casey Dunn is being helped off the field. That's their center, so they're going to have to shuffle some things around. Austin Golson, who's been playing left tackle, will move back to center. He's kind of a natural do-everything offensive lineman.
Started every game there last year. Should not be an issue on the snaps, the cadence, the mechanics.
Hastings in motion. Now the clock winds. Good rush. Stidham under pressure. Throws it. Intercepted. I don't know if he was trying to throw it away or what. But UCF is 24 seconds away from perfection. The true freshman Collier. It came right to him. Think about what that guy is feeling right now. The celebration is starting here in Atlanta.
Shenander, the D coordinator, played zone. Just let him work it down the field. Gave up 7, and they went right down the field again. But with the game on the line, kind of like his head coach, he was not going to have his season defined by playing back. They were going to be aggressive, and it's just fitting that Griffin in the face forces the interception.
12 tackles, sack and a half, and the play at the end, perfection. Wow. New Year's Day 2018. A day that coach, those players, and this program will never, ever forget. What a win and what a season for UCF.
I think all those sleepless nights, cross-country flights, hours spent doing what no other coach or very few have ever done to finish this storybook season off for Scott Frost. Every one of those hours pays off. Right now, right here in Atlanta.
Yeah, put the hat on, Scott. Allison Williams getting in position. But as soon as we get ready, we'll go down and hear from the head coach. His final game with UCF, and what a win, Allison.
Scott, I know how much it meant to you to coach this team in this game. As you see them celebrating an undefeated season and a Peach Bowl championship, what does that mean to you?
It's about the players. It's always about the players. These guys deserve to be here. This team beat 2 teams that are in the playoff. I'm just happy for these guys. They've worked their tails off, and it's unbelievable to watch the success they've had.
Auburn was a team that on so many levels seemed to have these advantages. What did you guys do to slay an SEC giant?
You know, they're a great team. They're in one of the best leagues in the country. They're a great team. I knew if we could just neutralize the two front lines, we'd have a really good chance. And I got to give credit to our O-line and D-line. They did it, and our playmakers found a way.
What was the difference for your quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, in the first and the second half?
You know, he looked a little nervous early. He missed some throws. I mean, we had chances. We had a wide open guy to make it 17-3. We had a chance to kick a field goal to get up 10. We didn't play our best game. I don't think Auburn did either. But our kids are fighters. I'm just happy for them.
When you look back on this season and everything your team accomplished, what are you most proud of?
This is a team that was 0-12 2 years ago. They had nowhere to go but up, but I can't believe how far up they went.
Scott, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, what a story. And Scott's a huge part of it. He's given the players all the credit. But what he did and his whole staff, they're all going to Lincoln, Nebraska. And Cornhuskers fans, you know how excited they are right now. But they spent all month doing 2 jobs.
Yep.
And it has paid off big time here in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
We all said it yesterday. Man, Scott looks exhausted. He is spent because it is so hard to wear 2 hats, but he was not. He was not going to let Shaquem and the rest of these guys down. He wanted to share this moment, believe they could do it, and indeed they did.
A team, a game that we will not forget.
Nope.
The UCF Knights 2017, and now on to New Year's Day 2018. That is a special group. And the quarterback was a huge part of it, but number 18. It's hard not to feel like he is the star of the show. For UCF, a landmark victory for a great kid and a great team. For Brock Hewitt, Allison Williams, Dave Fleming saying so long. Time to send it out to Pasadena, the college football playoff semifinal. The Rose Bowl getting ready. So long here from Atlanta.